Chapter 153, Skillfully Slapping the Face, Never Give Up Treatment. Li Xianxian nodded, don't worry. Although Li Xianxian had insisted no need for farewell, old lady Mo still escorted her downstairs. Watching the retreating figure of Li Xianxian, housemaid Lin sipped in awe, old lady, Miss Xianxian is such a good girl. Not only is her character good, so is her appearance and manners, she's practically perfect. Indeed, old lady Mo also sighed, Xianxian is indeed an extraordinary girl. Remarkably, Mo Hudi's condition improved significantly the same night she took the medicine. She, who was previously unconscious, was now able to sit up and talk. Mo Fuhai and old lady Mo were overjoyed, shedding tears of relief. Bodhisattva blesses us. It's truly the Bodhisattva's blessing. Old lady Mo stammered excitedly. Mo Fuhai laughed, what a futile mindset. Clearly, it's all thanks to Xianxian and the divine doctor from Jiangnan. Old lady Mo nodded hastily, yes, yes. It's all thanks to Xianxian and the divine doctor from Jiangnan. Mo Fuhai, walking up to Mo Hudi, asked anxiously, Shaodai, how do you feel now? Does your head still hurt? Mo Hudi shook her head, no, it doesn't hurt anymore, Grandpa. You don't have to worry. In the past, when Mo Hudi said it didn't hurt, it was merely to comfort Mo Fuhai, but this time it truly didn't hurt. Grandpa, I want to go outside and bask in the sun. Mo Hudi added. Before Mo Fuhai could nod in agreement, old lady Mo said, Shaodai, the divine doctor said you can't be exposed to the wind or sunlight now. How about we take you out after you've fully recovered? Mo Hudi nodded, and continued, Grandma, I want to eat meat. Mo Hudi was truly craving for meat. After being bedridden for over a month, her diet mostly consisted of noodles and porridge, easily digestible foods. She had nearly forgotten the taste of meat. Hearing this, old lady Mo's heart ached, wiping away her tears. The Mo family were wealthy, even their servants could eat meat in their 3 meals a day, but for Mo Hudi, eating meat had become a luxury. The poor girl. Choking back tears, old lady Mo said, good girl, you can't eat meat right now. Once you recover, they'll let you eat as much as you want. Mo Hudi dutifully wiped away old lady Mo's tears, Grandma, don't cry. I don't feel like eating meat now. Meat isn't that great. Her words sounded like she was comforting old lady Mo and also herself. Even the usually composed Mo Fuhai was moved to tears. At the Ni family residence. It was already late at night, but Ni Yang was still busy. She had packed the newly made facial cleanser and aloe gel into glass jars, with 31 jars of facial cleanser and 35 jars of aloe gel in total. The facial cleanser was milky white, while the aloe gel was a pale, jelly-like substance. Arranged in jars with round wooden stoppers, they looked particularly attractive, not unlike those high-end skin care products in later generations. Omitting the labor cost, these products had cost nearly 20 yuan in total. Selling a single jar of aloe gel would cover the cost, and this time, she had 15 pre-orders. Each order was for a jar of facial cleanser and a jar of aloe gel, totaling 35 yuan. 15 orders meant a total of 525 yuan. The thought of how a day's effort could rake in so much money made Ni Yang tireless. Her spirits were high. If she could open up the market for domestic skincare through this endeavor, that would be even better. In her prior world, famous skincare brands like SKI, Lamer, Ferma, Lancome, Helena, and so forth all originated from overseas. Domestic skincare products could hardly compete within the country. Unscrupulous merchants, in order to make money and save costs, would often substitute inferior chemical substances for natural ingredients. This led to tragedies like ruined skin and glow-in-the-dark face masks, gradually eroding the public's trust in domestic skincare products. People preferred to splurge on foreign brands, even at 10 to 100 times the price, rather than settling for domestic brands. Her goal was to carve out new territory within the domestic skincare industry while these major brands were still absent from the local market. In the past, foreigners capitalized on the exorbitant prices to make money from the Chinese. Ni Yang had a clear goal. She not only wanted to secure a foothold domestically, but also planned to market her skincare products overseas and earn a good deal of foreign money. It was high time for a resurgence of domestic skincare products. Seeing this, Ni Young refueled her determination. As it was now autumn, she didn't need to store these skincare products in the fridge. A cool, dry place would suffice. Chapter 154, Skillfully Slapping the Face, Never Give Up Treatment. Having sorted through the skincare products, Ni Young went back to her room to sleep. The next morning, Ni Young was awakened by the scent of delicious food. Usually, Ni Young would prepare breakfast, but Ni Tsuehua, seeing that her daughter was not getting enough sleep, would get up early to prepare breakfast. All Ni Young had to do was to prepare Mrs. Mo's meals the night before. "Mum, what are we having this morning?" "It smells wonderful," asked Ni Young, still brushing her teeth, and she walked over to the stove. Ni Tsuehua answered laughingly, "When your Aunt Ni and I were out in the city the other day, everyone seemed to be eating fried dough sticks. They looked really appetizing, so I tried making some. Hurry up and finish brushing your teeth to taste it." In the past, without Ni Young by her side, Ni Tsuehua would have found it difficult to get around in Beijing, but now things were different. With enough money, she had no problem making her way around the city or even between several cities. The changes in Ni Tsuehua were not just on the surface. "All right." Ni Young nodded, quickly brushed her teeth, washed her face and came to the living room for breakfast. The main breakfast was porridge, boiled eggs, and fried dough sticks. The side dish was spicy radish strips. Savoring the porridge with some spicy radish strips, followed by the crispy fried dough stick, was nothing short of delicious. Ni Kuihua's cooking skills were quite good. She controlled the heat of the dough sticks just right. They tasted crispy and fluffy, leaving a lingering fragrance after bites, and the spicy radish strips perfectly balanced out the greasiness of the fried dough sticks. "Mom, this tastes great." Ni Young gave her mother a thumbs up. Ni Tsuehua laughed, "You know just how to please me." Ni Chingue from the side said, "Yang Yang's mom, she's not flattering you at all. Your culinary skills are way better than the vendors selling fried dough sticks." No wonder Ni Yang's cooking skills were so good. It turns out Ni Tsuehua was also quite talented. Upon hearing this, Ni Tsuehua laughed even more joyously. "If it's tasty, then eat more." After breakfast, Ni Chingue left for work, and Ni Young went to bring Wang Meifeng her skincare products. Wang Meifeng's workplace was in the center of Beijing. When Ni Young arrived, Wang Meifeng had already been waiting. "Yang, over here." "Auntie Wang." Ni Young stopped her car with a smile. Yang, here is the money, please count it." Wang Meifeng handed Ni Young an envelope. Ni Young took the envelope, smiling, "No need to count, don't I trust you? By the way, these are the face wash and aloe gel." She unloaded a cardboard box from the back seat of her car. "Shall I help you bring it in?" Wang Meifeng said, "No need, Yang, I can do it myself. You go ahead with your work." Ni Young handed the bag hanging from her car to Wang Meifeng and laughed, "You have worked hard, Auntie Wang." "Oh, these are the dried fruits and sour plum soup that I made myself. Please share them with your colleagues. And this is the bread I made for Guobao." Before even opening the package, a mouth-watering aroma filled the air. Feeling uncomfortable accepting Ni Yang's gifts for no reason, Wang Meifeng insisted that these were not a big deal to her. It was Ni Young who had been a great help to her family. If it hadn't been for Ni Young, Yang Guobao would still be sick. Without Ni Young, would her skin have become so good? Seeing Wang Meifeng's rejections, Ni Young swiftly filled Wang Meifeng's arms with the items, hopped onto her bike, and turned to depart, hollering back, "Bye, Auntie Wang." Wang Meifeng chuckled and shook her head, "This child." Back in her office, Wang Meifeng put aside the things that Ni Young had given for Yang Guobao. She then distributed the skincare products along with the dried fruits and sour plum soup to her colleagues. "Wow! Meifeng, this sour plum soup is incredible. Where did you buy it from? The dried fruits are also good." They are even tastier than the imported ones. The office filled up with the rustling sound of munching on dried fruits and words of praise. Wang Meifeng said, "Both the dried fruits and sour plum soup were handmade by the divine doctor. She asked me to bring them and share with you all." That divine doctor is amazing. How does she know how to do everything? Absolutely. She is quite extraordinary, isn't she? Suddenly, a voice sourer than vinegar piped up. This tactic of attracting popularity is indeed good. Who knows if she really is that good? You all shouldn't count someone's money after being sold. The speaker was Lu Fun, who usually butted heads with Wang Meifeng. Lu Fun had once pursued Wang Meifeng's husband, Yang Changjing. After Wang Meifeng and Yang Changjing became a couple, Lu Fun believed that Wang Meifeng had come between her and Yang Changjing's relationship, so she often targeted Wang Meifeng, dreaming of shattering Wang Meifeng and Yang Changjing's marital bliss, hoping for a prompt divorce. Chapter 155, Cleverly Slapping the Face, Never Give Up Treatment Carrot. Lu Fun had once heard that the relationship between Wang Meifeng and Zhou Suhua was a strained mother-in-law and daughter-in-law relationship, which made Lu Fun ecstatic to the point where she couldn't sleep for 3 days and 3 nights. Wang Meifeng wasn't afraid of Lu Fun either. Immediately, she retorted, "Whether someone is really impressive or not, time will tell everyone. There's no need for you to poke your nose into everything." Lu Fun, I just don't understand. A long enough rope can be knotted, why can't your tongue be? Cultured people truly have a unique way of swearing, without a single dirty word. Lu Fun hadn't even graduated from junior high, the only reason she could work here was nepotism. When she said this, a wave of laughter immediately swept through the crowd. Lu Fen's face had turned beet red and she felt like cursing those who had bought skincare products to get facial abscesses and become disfigured immediately. After some time, Lu Fen turned to a coworker she was relatively close with and said, "Nana, remember skincare products are put on the face. Be careful with these unverified products, without any manufacturing date or brand. I'm worried they might disfigure you. I have a relative who was cheated by a known person and used skincare products of unknown origin. She is 35 now, and still can't find a husband." To discredit Wang Meifeng and the unknown divine doctor, Lu Fen even didn't hesitate to curse her own relatives. At these words, Zhou Nana was a bit surprised and said, "Sister Fun, is that really true?" Lu Fen nodded, and dead serious, said, "Of course, would I joke around about my own relative? Let me tell you, she now hides at home, too ashamed to face people with her disfigured face that even ghosts would be scared of." A disfigured face. This was no joking matter. And what Lu Fen said made sense. Would you use a skincare product with no label? Once she said this, not only Zhou Nana but the faces of other coworkers also weren't looking too good. Seeing everyone like this, Lu Fen showed a pleased smile on her face. Wang Meifeng laughed and said, "Rest assured. Not only is Divine Doctor skillful in medical skills, his craft in making skincare products is also top-notch. You all are worried about your faces being ruined, but does my face look damaged to you? Don't listen to Lu Fen's alarmist talk. She just can't stand to see others doing better than her." Wang Meifeng spoke directly without any fear of offending Lu Fen. Even though Wang Meifeng said so, everyone was still somewhat apprehensive. After all, the face is one's identity, and it matters a lot. If problems crop up later, who would they go to for help? They should be more cautious. Feeling a bit remorseful, Zhou Nana mused, "I'm sorry, Sister Meifeng, could I return this skincare product to you? If not, forget it. I'll just consider this 35 yuan spent as a lesson learned." Wang Meifeng laughed and said, "Of course you can, I'm not forcing anyone to buy anything. But Nana, don't regret your decision." Seeing Zhou Nana returning the skincare product, the others followed suit. Though buying and returning behavior wasn't ideal, their faces mattered more. After all, 35 yuan wasn't a small amount. Money didn't come easy for anyone. In a blink, 11 people returned their products. 4 people didn't return their products, 2 of them being Wang Meifeng's good friends who trusted she wouldn't lie to them. The other 2 were Wang Meifeng's subordinates, who, out of respect, didn't feel comfortable returning the products. Wang Meifeng wasn't angry. It was just a couple of hundred yuan. If they missed out on good products, that was their loss. Looking at the 4 people that didn't return the products, Lu Fen sneered, "Are you 4 fools? Or do you just like being disfigured?" A slightly overweight woman glared at Lu Fen and threatened, "Lu Fen, if you dare to distort the truth and being nonsensical, believe it or not, I'll slap you." This was Sun Mei, usually more aggressive. If she was truly angered, she wouldn't hesitate to take action. Grudgingly, Lu Fen shut her mouth. These women, who refused to listen to good advice, deserved to be disfigured. They would regret it someday. Sun Mei patted Wang Meifeng's back. "Ignore her type, I believe in you." "I also trust you," another good friend, Tao Yuan, also comforted Wang Meifeng. Wang Meifeng nonchalantly said, "It's fine, the innocent need not worry. I am not angry. It's not worth getting angry with such people." Ni Yang had no idea what was happening here. She was currently riding her bike, humming a tune and heading towards the vegetable market. Chapter 156, Cleverly Slapping the Face, Never Give Up Treatment. A black car was driving straight towards her. Seated in the back was none other than Mo Baichuan. Mo Baichuan spotted Ni Yang almost instantly. Her, again. Had a few days of peace, and now? Why was she back in front of him? Could this really be a coincidence? Who would believe that? Mo Baichuan narrowed his eyes, and ordered, "Xiao Zhao, pull over." "All right." His driver, Xiao Zhao, did as he was instructed. Mo Baichuan opened his door, getting out of the car and standing in the middle of the road with his arm out, blocking Ni Yang's car. If Ni Yang was going to keep trying to get his attention, he might as well play the game once. Someone suddenly jumping out into the middle of the road startled Ni Yang so much she almost swore. Her fast reaction was the only thing that saved her from hitting him. "Are you insane?" Ni Yang looked up furiously to indeed see a madman. Mo Baichuan. "Ni Yang, tell me, what's the point of all this?" Mo Baichuan glared coldly. "I'll tell you straight, no matter what you do, I'll never be attracted to someone like you. Even if Ni Yang has the face of Su Daji, he isn't King Zhou of Shang." Ni Yang picked at her ear disbelievingly. "What did you say?" Mo Baichuan continued, "Did you not understand me? I'll repeat it for you then, I will never be attracted to a scheming woman like you." Ni Yang laughed out of pure frustration. She had been on this earth for 2 lifetimes, and she had never met another as narcissistic and shameless as Mo Baichuan. Ni Yang took a deep breath, pulled the watch out of her pocket, and shoved it into Mo Baichuan's hands. "Thank you for promising never to be attracted to a conniving woman like me. Hey, erase your watch, and please stay out of my sight in the future. You might enjoy it, but I, the scheming woman, have a strong sense of hygiene." She deliberately emphasized the word strong sense of hygiene. And delusion is an illness that needs treatment. Before Mo Baichuan could react, Ni Yang pulled out a 1-cent note and placed it in Mo Baichuan's hand. "You're still young, don't ever give up on getting treatment. Consider the money my good deed for the day." Ni Yang had initially planned to give him a bigger note, but upon second thought, she decided that Mo Baichuan wasn't worth wasting it on. A cent was more than enough. If there were even smaller amounts, she wouldn't have given him a cent, leaving her parting words ringing in the air. Ni Yang didn't wait for Mo Baichuan's reactions. She hopped onto her bicycle and left. Mo Baichuan was on the verge of exploding with rage. His handsome face seemed to have a layer of frost, sending chills down your spine. What did Ni Yang mean by all this? Was she doing the exact opposite of what he expected? For the first time, Mo Baichuan was infuriated not once, but 3 times by the same woman. Daring. She was so daring. The 1-cent note in his hand was crumpled into a ball by Mo Baichuan. His knuckles turned white from clenching his fist. This was the first time he had ever been this angry. No woman had met would dare behave anything less than a docile kitten around him, yet Ni Yang was acting like a hedgehog. One day, he would expose her true face. Through the car window, his driver, Xiao Zhao, seemed to see a familiar scene. It seemed that only Ni Yang had the ability to make Mo Baichuan lose control. Xiao Zhao couldn't muster the courage to approach Mo Baichuan, and could only sit stiffly in the car. With the arrival of chilly autumn wind, the weather had begun to turn cold. So tonight, Ni Yang planned on cooking grilled fish. Due to the weather, fish and shrimp were no longer available from local ponds, so she went to the vegetable market. She bought a catfish, along with some bean sprouts, tofu skin, and kelp to accompany it. After finishing her grocery shopping, Ni Yang visited the hardware store to buy a pan for grilling fish. However, after a thorough search, she couldn't find a pan similar to the one she had had in her previous life. So, Ni Yang explained what the fish grilling pan looked like to the shopkeeper. The shop owner replied with a smile, "We don't have the kind of pan you're looking for, but we do have another that won't stick to the fish." Ni Yang asked, "Could you please show it to me?" In a brief moment, the shopkeeper presented her with a round stainless steel pan, quite similar to the pancake griddles, but without a long handle, just two knobs. This pan. It could work. Then Ni Yang asked, "I'll take this one then. How much is it?" Chapter 157, Cleverly Slapping the Face, Never Give Up Treatment _6. 8 yuan. The boss must really think she's a kid to mess around with. An old pot that hasn't sold for over 800 years and he wants to sell it for 8 yuan? Ni Yang laughed and said, "Boss, quit joking, I'm serious about buying. I'll take it for 1 yuan and 50 cents. The boss replied speechlessly, "Young lady, you're the one who's joking. A pot worth 8 yuan for 150? This pot is the most sought after this year. If you come any later, you might not be able to buy it." Ni Yang said, "I've never seen any sought-after item that has been stored in the warehouse for several years and not sold. If you don't really want to sell it, then I'll leave you alone." With that, Ni Yang turned and left. Seeing that Ni Yang had walked several steps and had no intention of turning back, the boss immediately shouted, "Young lady, come back. Come back quickly. I'll sell it to you for 150. Although 1 yuan and 50 cents wouldn't make much profit, it was better than it rotting in the warehouse and turning into a piece of waste. She originally thought that this young lady was easy to fool, but she never expected that this young lady was very shrewd. Successfully buying a pot and groceries, Ni Yang returned home. When she returned home, it was after 5 in the afternoon, just in time to cook. Ni Tsuhua was washing vegetables, while Ni Yang went to start a charcoal fire to grill fish. The grilled fish had to be grilled with charcoal fire to be authentic. Grilling in a bread oven would definitely not work. So Yang started a charcoal fire in the stove, split the fish in half and skewered it on a bamboo stick, and started grilling. Before long, there was a sizzling sound in the air. After seeing the fish oil come out, she started adding chili powder, cumin powder, table salt, and other spices. After all the spices were added, a distinctive barbecue aroma came out. Ni Yang seemed to have returned to the time in her past life when she sat on the street grilling skewers. After the fish was grilled till both sides were golden brown, Ni Yang started to stir-fry the grilled fish ingredients. First, she stir-fried the bean paste to bring out the red oil, then added spring onions, ginger, and garlic to bring out the fragrance. Then she added green chili peppers, onions, Sichuan peppercorns, soy sauce, beer and water. After it was boiled on high heat, she poured the red soup over the grilled fish. Instantly, an enticing aroma filled the air. The fragrance of cumin, the spiciness of the red oil, and a sprinkle of cilantro as decoration, a look and taste-appealing grilled fish was ready. Ni Yang brought the grilled fish to the table and lit the small stove. Immediately, the red oil soup in the grilled fish started to boil and the aroma became even stronger. At this time, she added the side dishes and you could eat while dipping in the soup. When Ni Chingue walked in, he was immediately shocked by this enticing aroma. "Yang, what are we eating today? It smells so good." Ni Yang smiled and said, "Ni aunt, we're eating grilled fish today." Ni Chingue had had braised fish, steamed fish, sour fish, and even sashimi, but he had never had grilled fish. No need to think about it, he knew this taste must be amazing. Upon hearing this, Ni Chingue couldn't wait and said, "I'll go wash my hands." Grilled fish is different from sour fish, it's numbing and spicy at first bite, then crispy on the outside and tender inside. It's so soft that it melts in your mouth as you take a light bite. Even the side dishes boiled in the soup are so delicious that people doubt their life. After finishing a pot of grilled fish, the soup left in the pot can be eaten with several bowls of rice. Why can fish be made so delicious? Ni Chingue was almost crying. Yang, I have nothing else to say. Just 2 words, phenomenal. Ni Chingue held a thumbs up to Ni Yang. Ni Yang laughed and said, "It's good that you like it, Ni auntie." Although Ni Tsuhua didn't say anything, she was equally shocked. She thought the sour fish was already delicious. To her surprise, the taste of this grilled fish made it irresistible. In comparison, she felt that the food she used to eat at the Mu family was not even as good as pig's food. After the meal, Ni Chingue finally had the chance to discuss something important. "By the way, Yang, 2 of my colleagues want me to buy your aloe vera gel and facial cleanser for them. Do you sell those?" The results of the facial cleanser and aloe vera gel that Ni Yang made were incredibly good. Not only could it make the skin smooth, but it also made the skin more elastic and made their skin look rejuvenated. This caused wherever she went, people would ask her what brand of skincare she was using. "Of course, I sell it." Ni Yang nodded. Ni Chingue asked again, "How much are they?" Ni Yang replied, "The facial cleanser is 15, and the aloe vera gel is 20. Chapter 158, Skillfully Slapping the Face, Never Give Up Treatment. 2 bottles for 35 yuan really isn't expensive. After all, these skincare products work so well. Ni Chingue then said, "Then get me 2 sets, no, 3 sets, I need a kit too." Ni Yang had given her some last time, which she had nearly used up. Ni Yang turned around, fetched 3 sets of skincare products from her house and handed them to her. Ni Chingue took out 105 yuan from her pocket and gave it to Ni Yang. Ni Yang took out 35 yuan and returned it to Ni Chingue. "Aunt Ni, you've helped me promote my skincare products and even sold 2 sets for me, how can I take your money? From now on, I'll cover all your skincare products. If you run out, just let me know directly." A good product is important, but knowing how to drive your business is even more important. Ni Yang wouldn't sacrifice greater benefits for a little profit. No employee is obliged to do overtime for their boss. Although Ni Chingue is not her employee, the principle is the same. As the saying goes, even brothers keep accounts. Ni Chingue felt embarrassed and said, "How can this be, Yang? It's not easy for you to do business." Ni Yang laughed and replied, "Nothing is impossible, Aunt Ni, please take it at ease, we're family. You've always taken great care of me. If you don't accept this, it would really be alienating." Ni Yang gave her word, leaving Ni Chingue no choice but to accept. At the same time, she decided to herself that she would definitely help Ni Yang promote her skincare products more in the future. Meanwhile, when Sun Mei was washing her face in the evening, she noticed the clear glass jar on the sink. Although in the daytime, she firmly stated that she trusted Wang Mei Feng, this was after all a matter concerning her own face. What if, really like what Lu Fun, that harbinger of doom, said? Between using it and not using it, she hesitated for a long time. Eventually, she decided to take a risk and give it a try. What if it really works like magic? She refused to believe that Wang Mei Feng, an old acquaintance, would harm her. Removing the cap of the facial cleanser, Sun Mei immediately caught a whiff of a very pleasant fragrance. Although it was very light, it was nonetheless refreshing to the senses. Would a crappy skin-ruining product smell this nice? With that thought, Sun Mei's worries evaporated significantly. She put some of the facial cleanser in her palm, applied it evenly on her face, and within a short while, a white foam appeared on her face. It was gentle and not irritating and was able to wash off the dirt and grease hidden on her face. After washing, she felt significantly more relaxed. It seems that Wang Meifeng was indeed telling the truth. This stuff is really better than facial powder. Sun Mei then applied some aloe vera gel on her face. After completing her skincare routine, Sun Mei went to bed. When she woke up the next morning and was combing her hair, Sun Mei was amazed to discover that the red spots on her face were gone, and her skin was much more moisturized than usual. This is simply incredible. No wonder it was developed by a divine doctor. As soon as Sun Mei arrived at the company, she excitedly told Wang Meifeng about what happened. Even though she didn't speak loudly, everyone in the office heard her. Did everyone else frown? Is it real or fake? Are those skincare products really that miraculous? But upon examination, it seemed that Sun Mei's skin condition did look much better. Didn't Lu Fen say it would ruin the face? Noticing the stares of others, Lu Fen snorted coldly. It's only been 1 day. How could it ruin the face so quickly? At least 3 days. Just wait and see, in 3 days, she will definitely regret. Everyone thought so too. It's only been a day. What effect could be seen? Time flew by quickly, and in the blink of an eye, it was the 2nd day. The 2nd day, Sun Mei's skin not only showed no signs of abnormalities. Instead, it was radiantly healthy. On the 3rd day, when everyone was looking forward to seeing Sun Mei's face deteriorate, her face not only did not deteriorate but also looked better than it did the day before. Her skin had improved, and Sun Mei was all smiles wherever she went, no longer exhibiting her previously fierce demeanor. By this time, Lu Fen was already becoming restless. It shouldn't be. Why didn't her face get ruined? How could a product with no certifications and standards not ruin the face? Perhaps 3 days was not long enough to show any effect. It might take 6 days. Yes. It must be like this. However, on the 3rd, 4th, and even 5th day, Sun Mei's skin condition got better day by day. Now, she even hummed while walking. The sight of this left everyone envious. Walking boastfully up to Lu Fen, Sun Mei taunted, "Lu Fen, didn't you say that my face would be ruined after 3 days? But now, 6 days have passed. Not only is my face undamaged, but my skin has also been getting better and better each day. You really should apologize to Meifeng." Hearing this, everyone chimed in agreement, yes. Lu Fen is to blame. If she didn't cause trouble back then, we would already be using it by now. Lu Fen, you nearly cost us the chance to use such good skincare products. You owe an apology not only to Meifeng but also to us. Enraged to the point of blushing, Lu Fen retorted, "It may be that the time isn't up yet." Sun Mei. What are you so pleased about? Just wait and see, sooner or later your face will be ruined. Laughing, Sun Mei responded, "Lu Fen, your disgusting face is really hard to look at. Forget it, I'm in a good mood today and can't be bothered to quarrel with you. Otherwise, would definitely have slapped you. Also, I'm putting it out there today, if I hear you bad-mouthing Divine Doctor again, Sun Mei will not let you off." The surrounding crowd began to reprimand Lu Fen for her wrongdoing. Lu Fen, who was previously a crowd favorite, had now become a scapegoat. Right then and there, Lu Fen was like a dog that had fallen into the water. She slinked away with her tail between her legs, leaving the office in shame. Just wait and see. Sooner or later, they will regret it. After Lu Fen left, her colleagues rushed towards Wang Meifeng. "Meifeng, is it too late for me to change my mind? I'm willing to pay double the price for the facial cleanser and aloe vera gel." "Me too. I want to buy too." "Meifeng, we're sorry, we shouldn't have betrayed you. We didn't trust you." "Meifeng, we're sorry," Wang Meifeng replied with a slight smile, "It's okay. As our chairman said, if you can correct your wrongs, you are still a good comrade. But there are none left today. The remaining 11 bottles from last time were all bought by colleagues from other departments. If you want to buy them, you can come over and register first." the price will still be the original one. Thanks to Sun Mice example, those 11 bottles were swept clean by the neighboring department 3 days ago. Hearing this, the previously calmed people flared up at Lu Fen once more. Mo family. Early in the morning, Zhou Suhua brought Yang Guobao to visit Mo Hudy, who was sick. Even after taking the medicine from the divine doctor for a week, Mo Hudy's condition looked much better than before, but she was still bedridden and her face was filled with signs of illness. Zhou Suhua told Mrs. Mo about Yang Guobao's complete recovery. Surprised, Mrs. Mo asked, "Is he really recovered?" Zhou Suhua nodded, "Indeed, he's better. I underestimated the divine doctor and nearly missed Guobao's chance of recovery. Thankfully, Mei Feng is a good girl and insisted on the treatment. Erwin, that divine doctor is really amazing. Why don't you let her come and see your daughter, Hudy? It's not doing us any good to keep on like this." Chapter 159, Home Visit. Li Xianxian commits suicide. Zhou Suhua now deeply believes in Ni Yang. When she talks about this, her eyes are full of admiration, without treating Ni Yang as a 17 or 18-year-old kid. She also earnestly hopes that Mo Hudy will get better soon. Otherwise, she wouldn't have recommended Ni Yang to Old Lady Mo. Hearing this, Old Lady Mo was surprised. Is that divine doctor really that amazing? Didn't I hear people say that he was just a 17 or 18-year-old kid? How could a child be so capable? Old Lady Mo was still somewhat skeptical in her heart. Zhou Suhua nodded, "It's true. We've been sisters for so many years, would I lie to you?" Although the young divine doctor is young, his medical skills are genuinely brilliant. Otherwise, Guobao wouldn't have recovered so quickly. Erwin, think about it. In order to cure Guobao's illness, Changzheng and Mei Feng visited many hospitals and even consulted with foreign professors. But the illness that even the foreign professors couldn't cure was cured by her. Isn't she a divine doctor? Sometimes a person's strength really can't be judged by their age. If Mei Feng didn't believe in the divine doctor like me at the time, Guobao might not be here now. Upon hearing this, Old Lady Mo became deep in thought. The current Yang Guobao is indeed very different from the previous one. The before and after was like two different people. You must know that the disease Yang Guobao previously suffered from was considered incurable. There was no record of successful treatment in modern medicine. But Yang Guobao and Mo Hudy's illnesses were completely different. Could that divine doctor really cure Mo Hudy as well? Old Lady Mo hesitated for a moment, then said, "Actually, Xiao Dai's condition has improved somewhat recently after taking the medicine prescribed by that Jiangnan divine doctor. As the saying goes, too many cooks spoil the broth. Wouldn't it be inappropriate to consult another doctor?" Zhou Suhua promptly replied, "Although that's true, more manpower means more hope. We all want Xiao Dai to get better quickly. Seeing as that Jiangnan divine doctor hasn't even shown his face, getting another person to have a look might ease our concerns." Zhou Suhua spoke reasonably, so Old Lady Mo nodded. "Suhua, your words are eye-opening. In this case, where does that divine doctor live? I'll have someone invite him right away." Zhou Suhua said, "Let's do this. I'll call Mei Feng now." Okay. Old Lady Mo kept nodding. "Then I will have to trouble your family's Mei Feng." Zhou Suhua laughed and said, "We've known each other for so many years. There's no need to mention anything burdensome." Zhou Suhua got up to make the call. Wang Mei Feng is also a warm-hearted person. Upon hearing her mother-in-law's words, she immediately dropped her work, and had Yang Changzheng drive her to Ni Yang's place. Yang Guobao bounced over. "Grandma, Old Lady Mo, is Sister Ni Yang coming to treat Xiao Dai?" Zhou Suhua nodded. "Yes, your dad and mom have already gone to pick up your sister Ni Yang." Yang Guobao cheerfully said, "That's great. Sister Ni Yang will surely cure Xiao Dai." After that, Yang Guobao ran to the bedroom to bring this good news to Mo Hudy, who was lying in bed. The servant quickly shut the door, fearing that even a little wind would come in. Yang Guobao ran to Mo Hudy's bedside, excitedly saying, "Xiao Dai, let me tell you, Sister Ni Yang is really amazing." When he said this, his eyes were nearly sparkling. Mo Hutie weakly said, really? Yang Guobao nodded, it's really true. Look how well I look now. It's sister and I Yang who cured me. Xiao Dai, don't worry, sister and I Yang will definitely be able to cure you too. Soon we can go to school together and play together. Hearing this, a smile of longing appeared in Mo Hutie's eyes. It was a desire emanating from the depths of her heart. It was also the redemption of a deeply ill person. Just then, there were footsteps outside the door again. Old Lady Zheng and Miss Xianjing are here. The servant pushed open the door from outside. Jing Xianjing supported Old Lady Zheng into the room, and the coughing sound of Old Lady Zheng accompanied them. Old Lady Mo, seeing Zhou Suhua, Jing Xianjing exclaimed in surprise, oh. Old Lady Yang is here too. Xianjing. Zhou Suhua greeted her with a smile. Jing Xianjing was a sweet and pretty girl who performed well in her studies. She was quite liked by the elderly folks. Chapter 160, Home Visit, Li Xianxian commits suicide _2. After everyone was settled, Mrs. Jing asked, Erwin, I heard that Xiao Dai has improved significantly after taking the medicine Xianxian sent over. Is that true? Madame Mo nodded, yes, Xiao Dai has indeed improved a lot thanks to Xianxian. But later, a divine doctor will be coming to check on Xiao Dai. Is it that divine doctor from Jiangnan? Mrs. Jing continued to ask. Madame Mo said, no, it's the doctor who cured Guobao. Guobao is well? Mrs. Jing expressed her surprise, Suhua, is this true? Zhou Suhua nodded, it's true. Mrs. Jing went on, where is Guobao? Zhou Suhua replied with a smile, he's inside chatting with Xiao Dai. Let me call him out for you. All right. Mrs. Jing nodded. Shortly after, Zhou Suhua brought Yang Guobao out from the room. Hello, Granny Zheng and Sister Xianjing, Yang Guobao greeted politely. Come here. Let me take a good look at you, Mrs. Jing summoned Yang Guobao. Yang Guobao approached. Mrs. Jing first felt Yang Guobao's forehead and then his hands, pausing for a long while before confirming, he's cured. He's truly cured. In a sick person, it's normally cold at the root of the nose and the acupuncture point in the middle of the palm. However, those points in Yang Guobao were no different from a healthy person's. Granny Zheng, of course am cured, Yang Guobao said proudly, my sister and I Yang is very awesome. Sister and I Yang? Mrs. Zheng was somewhat puzzled. Zhou Suhua from aside explained, Sister and I Yang is the divine doctor who cured Guobao. Oh. Mrs. Zheng nodded. Then Yang Guobao continued to say, let me tell you, Granny Zheng. Not only is my sister and I Yang good with medical skills, but she is also very beautiful. If you meet her, you're sure to like her a lot. Mrs. Mo teased from the side, is your sister and I Yang more beautiful than Sister Xianjing? Yang Guobao glanced at Jing Xianjing. After a moment, resting his chin on his hand, he answered seriously, well, Sister and I Yang is a bit more beautiful than Sister Xianjing. In truth, she was much more beautiful. But Yang Guobao felt shy to say it out loud. His mother had taught him that one should not only be honest, but also diplomatic, in dealing with others. One should always leave some face for the other party. By declaring that Sister and I Yang was multiple times more beautiful than Sister Xianjing, he was sure to embarrass her. Yang Guobao's earnest demeanor amused the three elderly people and made them laugh heartily. Jing Xianjing was also smiling, but there was a flash of strong resentment hidden in her bowed eyes. What a brat! Does he even know what to say? Even Li Xianxian isn't as beautiful as her. How could a simple country doctor possibly compare to her? Her previously good mood was completely ruined by the child's words. When Wang Meifeng arrived at the Ni family's home, she found Ni Yang watering the plants in the vegetable garden. Wang Meifeng relayed the situation regarding Mo Hutie to Ni Yang. After bidding Ni Tsuehua goodbye, Ni Yang took some emergency medicine and got into the car with Wang Meifeng. Xiao Dai is 13 this year. She got sick when she was around 9 or 10 and has been bedridden since then. She's a pitiful child. Yang, you don't need to stress. Well, just go and take a look. If we can't treat her, it's okay. After all, Mo Hudi's illness was completely different from Yang Gobeo's, and Wang Meifeng didn't want to put too much pressure on Ni Yang. Ni Yang nodded, I understand. The car was fast, and they soon arrived at the Mo's residence. As soon as the car door was opened, Yang Guobao rushed out from the courtyard and hugged Ni Yang. Sister Ni Yang, you're here. Guobao. Ni Yang patted Yang Gobeo's head. Then, Yang Guobao introduced Ni Yang to Mrs. Mo and Mrs. Zheng, who were standing behind him. Granny Mo, Granny Zheng, this is my sister Ni Yang. Ni Yang nodded politely, nice to meet you. Mrs. Zheng stared at Ni Yang, momentarily at a loss for words. This girl. Why did she find this girl so familiar? Mrs. Zheng even had a sudden impulse to embrace Ni Yang. Zheng Xianjing glanced at Mrs. Zheng and suddenly felt a sense of irritation. This expression on Mrs. Zheng's face was all too familiar. It was the same face she wore every time she thought about her deceased daughter. That person was already dead. Couldn't she care a little bit more about the feelings of the living beside her? Chapter 161, Home Visit, Li Xianxian commits suicide _3. Despite showing our filial piety to this damned old woman all these years, we end up being deemed worse than a corpse. How utterly ridiculous. This ungrateful hag deserves to have no descendants. Although Zheng Xianjing cursed the old woman hundreds of times in her heart, she still put on a polite and understanding face. Zhou Suhua next to her said, Erwin, Aching, this is the young divine doctor, Ni Yang, whom I told you about. Even though old lady Mo was aware that the person who had treated Yang Guobao was youthful, she hadn't expected them to be a child. Moreover, she was incredibly beautiful. Old lady Mo once thought Zheng Xianjing was the most beautiful girl she had ever seen, but now compared to Ni Yang, Zheng Xianjing seemed like a mere commoner. It is often said that when God opens a door, he also closes a window. Generally, people with exceptional talents have some slight deficiencies. This little girl was so beautiful, flawless in fact. Could her medical skills be as impeccable? After all, they do say that beauty lacks brains. So in old lady Mo's mind, usually people who were too beautiful weren't all that bright. Every saying does have its origin, after all. Although old lady Mo had her doubts, she still smiled and said, Hello, young divine doctor, I am Xiao Dai's grandmother, I appreciate your attention to Xiao Dai. Ni Yang smiled lightly, you're too kind. As a doctor, it's my duty to treat and save people. This child was quite modest. Not impatient. Not bad at all. Well, why not let her try? Maybe she is indeed talented. Good child, how old are you this year? Old lady Zheng asked, holding Ni Yang's hand with a somewhat moved expression. Ni Yang politely answered, Old lady, I am 17 today. Old lady Zheng nodded, 17, 2 years younger than Artingting. Where are you from? Before the old lady could continue her question, Zheng Tingting interjected surprisingly, I can't believe the young divine doctor is only 17. At 17 I was just a child, but the young divine doctor is already famous. It's quite a shame to our generation. Even though this remark seemed to praise Ni Yang, it actually had a sting. Famous? Ni Yang had only treated one person, Yang Guobao, so where did this fame come from? Besides, old lady Mo was doubtful of Ni Yang's medical skills from the start. This remark was not only prickling but also filled with considerable ridicule. For some reason, Zheng Xianjing just couldn't bring herself to like Ni Yang. Having such a beautiful face, she was certainly no good girl. Zheng Xianjing enjoyed hanging out with people who were less attractive than her. Those who looked better than her deserved to die. Ni Yang wasn't offended but smiled and said, Kai Wenji identified melodies at 6, Kong Rong yielded pairs at 7, and Gan Luo became prime minister at 12. People are different with diverse talents. You don't need to feel inferior, sister. Ni Yang's tone was light, but her words were powerful, a beautiful retort. Jing Xianjing kept a stifled breath in her heart, almost to the point of being infuriated to death by Ni Yang. Both Old Lady Mo and Old Lady Jing wore approving expressions. This young divine doctor indeed was a formidable figure. An ordinary 17-year-old child wouldn't comprehend such philosophy, let alone so much insight. Besides, Jing Xianjing was usually an exceptional kid. Very few rich girls could match her rhetorically, but today, she tasted defeat at the hands of Ni Yang. Quite extraordinary indeed. Seeing Jing Xianjing in an awkward position, Old Lady Mo stepped in and said, "Let's go inside. Xiao Dai is still waiting." Jing Xianjing bit her lips unwillingly, but remained silent. Sometimes less talk is better. The more one talks, the more mistakes they make. She would take her revenge at the appropriate time. Ni Yang followed Old Lady Mo and others into the courtyard. The Mo family lived in a row of villas with 5 floors each. The villas in the front, the servants' rooms at the back. The servants' rooms were slightly shorter but very grand, clearly indicating the family's prosperity. The interior was also top-grade luxury. Beautiful crystal chandeliers, delicate imported Persian carpets, huge leather sofas, and famous paintings could be seen everywhere. Any ordinary person who entered such a house would be amazed, like Granny Lu visiting the Grandview Gardens. Chapter 162, Home Visit, Li Xianxian commits suicide _4. But who was Ni Yang? In her previous life as director Ni, what kind of scenario had she not experienced? She didn't see much in these trivialities. Seeing her so calm, Lady Mo couldn't help but take a few more looks at her. This child was a bit beyond her expectations. Looking at her attire, she didn't seem to be from a wealthy family. Yet, after seeing these things, there was no trace of greed in her eyes, just sheer clarity and tranquility. She didn't seem like a child in her teens, but more like someone who had been through 1,000 storms and held high positions. Perhaps, she indeed had the potential to achieve great things. They all went upstairs together, and just as they were stepping onto the top stair, Lady Jing missed a step. Just as she was about to tumble backward onto the ground, someone gently grasped her hand, pulling with a clever force, stabilizing Lady Jing's body immediately. She heard a soft voice beside her, "Be careful, old lady." Looking up, Lady Jing saw it was Ni Yang who had assisted her, and she gratefully said, "Thank you, young divine doctor." "It was nothing." Ni Yang replied with a light smile, 2 shallow dimples appearing on her cheeks. For a moment, Lady Jing lost herself. She remembered that her Tingting also had such small dimples. "Grandma, are you all right?" Zheng Tingting, who was leading the way, noticed something was wrong. She stopped and held onto Lady Jing's arm, asking concernedly. Only then was Lady Jing jolted back to reality. She responded with a helpless smile, "I'm fine." Ni Yang softly reminded, "The elderly may have trouble with mobility, you should pay more attention, sister." How amusing. Was Ni Yang indirectly criticizing her lack of filial piety? Should she take a look at who she is first? A mere barefoot village doctor who accidentally cured Yang Gobeo's illness, what right does she have to judge her? For a moment, Jing Xianjing was even more irritated. Yet she still smiled and said, "Young divine doctor is correct, it was indeed my negligence this time." "Thank you, young divine doctor." "Grandma, let us go in quickly." Ni Yang said no further and followed everyone into the room. The moment she stepped into the room, Ni Yang discreetly furrowed her brows. The air in the room wasn't pleasant, it was outright disagreeable. Ni Yang looked around, realizing that all the doors and windows in the room were tightly closed, the curtains were drawn, and the only light was coming from a chandelier overhead. Based on the stale air, she guesstimated that the room had been closed off for at least 10 days, if not longer. Little Miss Mo Hudi, who was lying on the bed, was ominously pale and emaciated. If Wang Meifeng hadn't mentioned it earlier, Ni Yang would never have guessed that this child was already 13 years old. Yang Guobao ran over to Mo Hudi with excitement. Xiao Dai, this is the sister Ni Yang I told you about. Mo Hudi looked up at Ni Yang, graced her with a light smile, and politely greeted, "Hello, Sister Niyang." This sister Ni Yang was indeed as beautiful as Yang Guobao had claimed. Prettier even than Snow White on television. "Hello, Xiao Dai." Ni Yang sat down, extending her hand towards Mo Hudi to feel her pulse. The air in the room grew still. Everyone was waiting for Ni Yang to speak. After a while, Ni Yang released her hand, raised Mo Hudi's chin and instructed, "Don't be nervous, close your eyes first. I need to check your pupils." Mo Hudi closed her eyes as instructed. After examining her pupils, Ni Yang wore a complex expression. She looked up at Lady Mo and asked, "Has Xiao Dai been taking any medication lately? And did her condition improve after that?" "Yes." Lady Mo nodded. Ni Yang continued, "Can you bring the medicine over for me to see?" "Certainly." Lady Mo nodded, retrieving a small red porcelain bottle from the drawer of the bedside table. After Ni Yang received the porcelain bottle and sniffed it lightly, she proceeded, "The pills contain aconite, piperaceae, 7 dragons grass, puraria root, cherry seed, snake berry, dandelion, and other medicinal herbs. These herbs have astringent properties, warm regulation, and help to clear internal heat, but they have been erroneously prescribed for Xiao Dai's condition. If Xiao Dai seems to be improving, it is only due to the astringent properties working to alleviate her symptoms temporarily. This is treating the symptoms, not the cause. She must stop taking these immediately, because otherwise, within 3 days, not only will her condition not improve, but it will worsen to such an extent that it could be life-threatening." Ni Yang spoke earnestly, there wasn't an ounce of jest in her expression. Lady Mo was taken aback, but this was personally sent by the divine doctor of Jiangnan. Chapter 163, Home Visit, Li Xianxian commits suicide _5. Could a medicine prescribed by the divine doctor be wrong? Moreover, Mo Hudi's condition has shown signs of improvement after taking the medicine. Could it be, as Ni Yang said, a treatment of the symptoms but not the cause? One is the famous divine doctor of Jiangnan. The other is the divine doctor who cured Yang Guobao. For a moment, elder Lady Mo was unsure about whom to trust. Seeing elder Lady Mo's uncertainty, Ni Yang continued, "I assume the divine doctor of Jiangnan has never met Xiao Dai in person, right?" Old Lady Mo nodded and said, "Although the divine doctor of Jiangnan has never met Xiao Dai in person, he is aware of her symptoms and medical history." Ni Yang responded, "Even Confucius, a sage, made mistakes. Let alone the divine doctor of Jiangnan who has never met Xiao Dai. Misdiagnoses are normal." Hearing this, elder Lady Mo found herself contemplating deeply. Did the divine doctor of Jiangnan actually misdiagnose? Upon hearing this, Jing Xianjing almost laughed out loud. How shameless of Ni Yang! Misdiagnosis? How could the divine doctor of Jiangnan possibly misdiagnose? And Ni Yang, a novice village doctor, had the audacity to accuse the divine doctor of misdiagnosis? Absurd. Seeing elder Lady Mo falling for Ni Yang's words, Jing Xianjing chuckled and said, "As far as I know, traditional Chinese medicine is divided into internal medicine, surgery, neurology, and dermatology. Considering the divine doctor of Jiangnan's reputation in treating complex cases, I don't think he could have misdiagnosed. After all, he has been practicing medicine for decades and is already 60, with no known instances of misdiagnosis. Furthermore, the illness Guobao had is epilepsy, a condition he was born with. It is entirely different from Xiao Dai's illness. Each doctor has their own specialty. Little doctor, I think it's too hasty for you to claim that the divine doctor of Jiangnan misdiagnosed, considering Xiao Dai's well-being." Jing Xianjing spoke logically, persuading elder Lady Mo to nod her agreement. Upon reflection, the divine doctor of Jiangnan seemed to be the more reliable choice. The divine doctor of Jiangnan has cured many people, while Ni Yang has only cured Yang Guobao. Comparing their experience, Ni Yang is far less qualified. Wang Meifeng wanted to say something but was stopped by Zhou Suhua. After all, life was at stake and they felt reluctant to interrupt. If Mo Hudi were to lose her life under Ni Yang's treatment, Ni Yang would be held responsible for her death. They invited Ni Yang to help treat the illness, not to create hostility. As to whether they believe in Ni Yang, it all depends on elder Lady Mo. If anything were to happen, she wouldn't be able to blame anyone else. After some thought, elder Lady Mo asked, "So little doctor, what is your treatment plan? And what is Xiao Dai suffering from?" Ni Yang responded, "Xiao Dai is presently suffering from severe malnutrition and blood dryness caused by internal warmth diseases. That's why she has been bedridden." He paused before continuing, "My plan is to immediately open all the doors and windows in this room to let the air circulate. Then, Xiao Dai needs to eat more nutritious foods, especially fish and meat, to replenish her energy. Finally, I will prescribe a formula and use acupuncture treatment. Within 6 months, Xiao Dai will be cured." 6 months are just a conservative estimate. In fact, with Ni Yang's skill, it only takes 2 to 3 months for a full recovery. Elder Lady Mo frowned slightly, but the divine doctor of Jiangnan expressly urged against exposing Xiao Dai to sunlight or wind, and she is not allowed to eat oily and spicy foods. "Little doctor, are you sure your treatment will work?" This was a direct contradiction to the divine doctor of Jiangnan's orders. Ni Yang explained, "Continuously closing doors and windows reduces air circulation, which can lead to indoor bacterial infection and weaken the body's immune system, especially in the case of someone like Xiao Dai who has been bedridden for a long time. As for diet, Xiao Dai's illness doesn't restrict her food intake. Constant dietary restrictions wouldn't alleviate her condition, but rather lead to malnutrition, worsening her illness." Ni Yang's argument made sense, leaving elder Lady Mo speechless. Jing Xianjing sneered at him under her lowered eyes. Did this Ni Yang actually consider himself a divine doctor? He had the audacity to refute the divine doctor of Jiangnan. How shameless! Jing Xianjing looked at Ni Yang and mockingly asked, "So you're saying that Xiao Dai must receive acupuncture?" "Yes," Ni Yang nodded, "there's no other way." Jing Xianjing continued, "But I heard that only seasoned practitioners of traditional Chinese medicine can perform acupuncture. After all, if a single acupoint is wrong, the consequences could range from paralysis to life-threatening." Chapter 164, Home Visit, Li Xianxian commits suicide _6. At these words, Mrs. Mo Sr. was taken aback. Xiao Dai was the only bloodline of her daughter left, which she could not risk endangering. No matter whether it was whole-body paralysis or life-threatening, she could not bear it. Seeing Mrs. Mo Sr. in extreme panic, Jing Xianjing added, "Acupuncture isn't a joke, even some regular large hospitals dare not do it. Divine doctor, can you ensure it's completely safe?" Finally finding an opportunity for revenge and to show off in front of Mrs. Mo Sr., Jing Xianjing naturally would not miss this opportunity. Once she saved Mo Hudi's life, Mrs. Mo Sr. would definitely thank her. At that time, she would become a great benefactor of the Mo family. Ni Yang smiled lightly, saying, "Every operation carries a risk. I can't guarantee what might happen during the acupuncture treatment, but I can ensure that as long as the procedure goes smoothly and medication treatment is used in combination, Xiao Dai will definitely recover within half a year." Any highly skilled doctor would never give a 100% guarantee to their patients. Because no one knows which will come first, tomorrow or an accident. No one can predict if there will be any rejection or loss of blood during the surgical procedure. Ni Yang is just a doctor, she isn't a god, she can't stop accidents from happening. If an accident happens then, she would be labeled as a killer. Ni Yang had witnessed too many medical disputes in her previous life, so she didn't want to risk her hard-earned second life by playing games with her future. Jing Xianjing smiled, "Since the divine doctor cannot ensure it's completely safe, I think we should follow the method of the Jiangnan divine doctor. After all, the Jiangnan divine doctor has so much experience. Mrs. Mo, what do you think?" Mrs. Mo Sr. was in a dilemma now. As after all, Ni Yang was recommended by Zhou Suhua. If she rejected Ni Yang outright, she was afraid it would somewhat harm Zhou Suhua's face. But if she didn't refuse, it would risk Mo Hudi's life. Seeing Mrs. Mo Sr.'s dilemma, Ni Yang smiled and said, practicing medicine and saving lives depends on destiny. Since Mrs. Mo Sr. doesn't trust me, I won't bother you anymore. Seeing Ni Yang about to leave, Yang Guobao shouted anxiously, Mrs. Mo, please trust Sister Ni Yang. Sister Ni Yang can truly save Xiaodai. Jing Xianjing walked to Yang Guobao, tenderly saying, good boy, don't interrupt while grown-ups talk. Yang Guobao pushed away Jing Xianjing's hand, and quickly caught up to Ni Yang, Sister Ni Yang. A malicious glimmer flashed in the depth of Jing Xianjing's eyes. Damn kid. Better if he falls and dies on the stairs. Mo Hudi turned her eyes to Mrs. Mo Sr. Grandma. Mrs. Mo Sr. looked at Mo Hudi said, don't worry, Grandma knows what to do. After Wang Meifeng and Zhou Suhua greeted Mrs. Mo Sr. and Madame Zheng, they followed Ni Yang. Wang Meifeng rushed to Ni Yang, apologized, Yang, I'm sorry, making you run here in vain. Ni Yang smiled and said, it's okay Auntie Wang, I'm inexperienced and young, it's understandable that everyone doesn't trust me. As for Xiaodai's case, I just need to speak honestly and not regret, trust cannot be forced. Hearing this, Zhou Suhua nodded in agreement on one side, it's really good that you can think like this Yang. Xiaodai's case is complicated after all, if you insist on staying to treat her and something goes wrong, it'll be too late to explain. Sister Ni Yang, will Xiaodai get better? Yang Guobao was holding Ni Yang's hand, his voice holding a bit of a sob. Ni Yang bent down, gently comforting, Guobao, don't worry. Xiaodai has natural fortunes, she will definitely get better. Really? Yang Guobao wiped his tears. Really? Nayang nodded. After getting in the car, Wang Meifeng finally got the chance to talk with Ni Yang about other things, and also Yang, everyone is reacting well to the skincare products you made, my colleagues have ordered 16 sets this time, do you have any ready stock? Wang Meifeng always reported good news, not worries, hence Ni Yang did not know that the skincare products were initially returned by her colleagues. Wang Meifeng originally thought of keeping the skincare products for herself if nobody else wanted to buy them. Unexpectedly, a truly good product has nothing to fear from slander and defamation. Whether it's good or not, everyone has eyes and can see for themselves. Chapter 165, Home Visit, Li Xianxian commits suicide. Ni Yang nodded, sure Aunt Wang, I will deliver it to you tomorrow morning. Zhou Suhua continued, Yang, it's still early, why don't you come and sit at our house for a while? Upon hearing this, Yang Guobao tagged along excitedly, yes. Sister Ni Yang, come and play at my house with me. Later, I'll have my dad bring over my sister and Aunt Hua. Ni Yang laughed, I'm afraid I can't today. I have some things to do in the city center later. It will be enough trouble for Uncle Yang to stop the car up front. There had been ongoing renovations at the shop for more than 10 days, and now many trivial matters awaited Ni Yang. Upon hearing this, Yang Guobao pouted immediately, portraying an unhappy appearance. Ni Yang consoled, don't worry Guobao, as soon as I have time, I'll definitely come and play at your house. Really? Yang Guobao was suddenly excited. Really? Ni Yang nodded. Sister Ni Yang, let's make a pinky promise. Yang Guobao extended his little pinky to Ni Yang. Ni Yang hooked her little finger with his pinky promise, hang a nail, no changing for 100 years, whoever changes will be a puppy. Yang Guobao exclaimed in surprise, Sister Ni Yang, you know this too? Ni Yang laughed softly, because I also grew up from your age. After Ni Yang left, Mo Hudi had been taking her medication from the divine doctor of Jiangnan on time, and her condition was gradually improving. Seeing Mo Hudi getting better and better, the smile on old lady Mo's face gradually increased. So many years had passed. She finally saw hope. The second day, the third day, Mo Hudi's condition remained very stable. By the afternoon of the third day, not only had Mo Hudi's condition not worsened as Ni Yang had said, but she was even able to walk on her own. Old Lady Mo and Mo Fuhai were beside themselves with excitement. Old Lady Mo expressed her gratitude more than once, as it was fortunate that Jing Xianjing was there to give timely advice, resulting in them not giving Mo Hudi acupuncture. If they had done the acupuncture, Mo Hudi would not have been in her current condition. Thank goodness. Old Lady Mo immediately sent a gift to Jing Xianjing as a token of thanks. Upon seeing the gift, Jing Xianjing knew that her judgment was not wrong. How could a despicable woman like Ni Yang have the ability to heal? Fortunately, she acted fast and saved Mo Hudi's life. Seeing her daughter being so capable made Jing Lingling extremely pleased. Xianjing, if you work hard, you can marry into the Mo family, and become old Lady Mo's granddaughter-in-law. Granddaughter-in-law? Jing Xianjing sneered in her heart. Her target was not Mo Baichuan. Compared to that man, Mo Baichuan was not even 1 in 10,000. Xianjing, Jing Lingling implored discontentedly, pushing Jing Xianjing. Are you still thinking about the eldest of the Mo family, that disappointing sixth son? Jing Xianjing did not reply. Jing Lingling drew a long breath, speaking with seriousness. Xianjing, you are a smart girl. You've never given me any worries growing up. But why are you so infatuated with this? Mo Qishan is a loser. A loser that even Zhao Jingrong looks down on. Tell me, how on earth can you like such a person? Just wait and see, Zhao Jingrong will regret her refusal one of these days. Jing Xianjing curled her lip. Jing Lingling was scared half to death. My darling. You haven't really taken a liking to that loser, have you? Jing Xianjing stood up and pushed Jing Lingling out the door. Mother, stop worrying so much. I have this under control. Just remember, only the best man in the world is worthy of me. After returning to her room, Jing Xianjing lay in bed. Her mind kept drifting back to that scene she had inadvertently witnessed half a year ago. If she wasn't mistaken, Mo Qishan was far more complicated than he appeared to be. So, she wanted to take a gamble on Mo Qishan. Now she needed to go to bed early, and then wake up early tomorrow to go congratulate the Mo family. Mo Qishan should have returned after being away for so long. However, chaos had descended upon the Mo family. Mo Hudi's condition suddenly worsened. It started with a low fever, then a high fever, and finally she fell into a coma. In the middle of the night, lights were on all over the Mo family's residence. Both practitioners of traditional Chinese medicine and Western medicine surrounded Mo Hudi's room, but none could determine the cause of her condition, let alone how to reduce her fever. Old Lady Mo was so worried that she was wiping away tears. What to do? What should they do now? At this critical time, it was Mo Fuhai who maintained his composure. Don't worry, don't worry. Maybe this is just a normal reaction to the medication. Mrs. Lin, call Miss Xianxian right now and ask the divine doctor what is going on. Yes, sir, they'll do it right away. On the other end of the phone, Li Xiangxian's voice was terrible. She cried, I'm so sorry, grandfather and grandmother, I really didn't know that the divine doctor was lying to me. Mo Fuhai snatched the phone abruptly, angrily saying, that damn divine doctor dared to play with people's lives. Tell me, what's his name? Where does he live? Overwhelmed with sobs, Li Xianxian gasped for air. He committed suicide out of guilt. Mo Fuhai, a man who had lived through half his life filled with battles, lost control for the first time. He smashed the phone violently. On the other end of the line, a malicious curve tugged at the corner of Li Xiangxian's mouth. Ni Yang would be married to a man castrated by the heavens. Mo Hudi was also killed by someone. The two stumbling blocks were gone. Her second half of life was now worry-free. Il-1 Xianxian shed tears while picking up a pen and slowly writing 2 characters on the paper, suicide note. In her nearly 1,000-word suicide note, she expressed all of her regret to Mo Hudi. She had wronged Mo Hudi, so she could only repay her with her own life. After finishing the suicide note, Li Xianxian picked up a sharp dagger and slowly slit her wrist's radial artery. Blood dripped onto the suicide note, reflecting the stark black and white characters. Half an hour later, the urgent alarm went off. An hour later, several police officers went to the Mo family, explained the situation with Li Xianxian to old lady Mo and Mo Fuhai, and handed them a copy of her suicide note. Comrade Li Xianxian is currently in critical condition. The hospital has issued 3 critical condition notifications. She is an orphan with no family. The only contact person is you, so please prepare yourselves. Old lady Mo cried, why is Xianxian so foolish? Mo Fuhai also didn't expect that Li Xianxian would choose to prove her innocence through suicide. These continuous waves of events plunged the 2 elderly people into endless pain and self-blame. At this point, the servant, Mrs. Lin, said, Old madam, there's someone who might be able to save Xiao Dai. Who? Mo Fuhai and old lady Mo grasped at this like the last straw. Mrs. Lin continued, it's that young divine doctor who came last time. Do you remember, old madam? He said that Xiao Dai's condition would worsen within 3 days. Today is the 3rd day. Chapter 166, Uncle and Nephew Standoff, Believe in Yang yes. And Nayang. Madame Mo took Auntie Lin's hand. Auntie Lin, contact the divine doctor Yang immediately. Auntie Lin responded, okay, I will contact him right away. Yang's home did not have a phone. If the Mo family wanted to get in touch with him, they had to contact Wang Meifeng first. Unfortunately, after calling many times, no one answered. Madame Mo grew increasingly anxious. Just as she was considering sending the driver to the Yang family's home, they heard footsteps from within the house. Grandfather, grandmother. Mo Baichuan walked in with a few doctors in white coats trailing behind him. Baichuan. Seeing Mo Baichuan, Mo Qishan and Madame Mo felt like they saw a beacon of hope. Madame Mo hugged Mo Qishan tightly, sobbing softly. Grandma, don't worry. Xiao Dai is destined to be lucky, she will be all right. Mo Baichuan continued, by the way, I want to introduce Dr. Ace who came from overseas along with his students. Dr. Ace has an extraordinary medical skill and has even won an international award. Upon hearing this, Mo Fuhai and Madame Mo turned their attention to Dr. Ace and his students. Nice to meet you, Dr. Ace. Mr. and Mrs. Mo, nice to meet you. Mo Baichuan continued, Grandpa and Grandma, let Dr. Ace examine Xiao Dai first. Our family has already been swindled by a so-called divine doctor. We cannot afford to make the same mistake again. Medical science is advanced overseas. These so-called divine doctors should have been outdated long ago. Yes, Baichuan is right, Madame Mo nodded, leading Mo Baichuan and Dr. Ace upstairs. As soon as they entered the room, Dr. Ace said seriously, ignorance. Such plain ignorance. Sealing off windows and doors won't help the patient's disease, but rather cultivate bacteria. A patient's immunity is generally much lower than average, so you are bringing harm to her. Open the windows and doors immediately to maintain airflow in the room. These words were exactly what Yang had said. Madame Mo instructed people to open the doors and windows immediately. Fresh air from the outside flowed into the room, making the air inside much more pleasant. People usually have a pale face when having a fever, but Mo Hudi on the bed was pale as a ghost. The students prepared medical equipment while Dr. Ace conducted a full-body examination on Mo Hudi. Mo Baichuan checked his watch before saying, Grandpa and Grandma, I will leave for a while and come back soon. If Dr. Ace needs anything, please cooperate with him. Mo Fuhai nodded, you go first, no need to worry about us. Mo Baichuan grabbed his coat and hurried out. By this time, the sky was beginning to light up. Dr. Ace continued to examine Mo Hudi. The atmosphere in the room was tense as Mo Fuhai and Madame Mo waited anxiously. As time passed, Dr. Ace eventually put down his stethoscope. Mo Fuhai and Madame Mo immediately approached Dr. Ace. How is Xiao Dai, Dr. Ace? Is there any hope for her? Dr. Ace responded, given the current situation, there is generally no hope. However, there is one last method we can try. Tell us. Madame Mo hurriedly said, we will do anything to save Xiao Dai. Mo Fuhai echoed, yes. Dr. Ace, as long as you tell us, we will cooperate. A total blood transfusion, Dr. Ace continued, however, this operation only has a 30% success rate. As guardians, please consider whether to proceed with this surgery. Total blood transfusion? Blood is the source of life in a human body. If all the blood drains out, accidents are likely to happen. A total blood transfusion might lead to multiple complications, and even if the patient recovers, their physical condition would not be as good as before. Ni Young had never mentioned a total blood transfusion before. Madame Mo was very hesitant at the moment. After a while, Madame Mo resolutely said, "No. We want." "No?" Dr. Ace almost thought he had misheard. "Yes, we want." Madame Mo turned to Auntie Lin. "Auntie Lin, immediately have old Wang take you to Gobeo's home and bring the divine doctor here." Compared with Dr. Ace's suggestion of a total blood transfusion, Madame Mo was now more inclined to believe in Ni Young. Chapter 167, Uncle and Nephew Confront Each Other, Trust in Yang _2. After all, everything Ni Yang said 3 days ago had proven true. This time, she definitely wouldn't be fooled again. "All right, madam." Aunt Lin turned and walked towards the door. Upon hearing these words, Dr. Ace angrily said, "Lady Mo, what are you doing at such a critical moment? You're still choosing to trust those fraudulent quacks? Forgive me for saying, your Chinese backward medical approach, especially in a place where medical resources are not fully equipped, is impossible to provide hope for the treatment of difficult diseases. Xiao Dai may have been theoretically failed by the misapplication of medicine, but the actual murderer is the caregivers like yourselves. If they employ the procedure of blood replacement surgery, Mo Hudi has at least a 30% chance of recovery. If the Mo family continues to let quacks treat her, it's like pushing Mo Hudi directly into the grave. Preposterous. Absolutely ridiculous." Dr. Ace's face turned red with fury. Mo Fuhai continued, "Dr. Ace, I don't deny that foreign medical technology is indeed very advanced, but you can't deny the existence of our divine doctor in China. The history of China has been handed down over 5,000 years and has produced many legendary doctors." Dr. Ace responded speechlessly, "Now I finally know how the Qing dynasty fell. It's because of ignorant people like you. You will regret this. There will be no pill for regret later." As a doctor, the situation they hated the most was when patients clearly had a chance to survive, but were delayed by their family's decisions. Dr. Ace was so angry that he was at a loss for words. If it weren't for his students holding him back, he might have already turned violent. "Let's go." Dr. Ace didn't want to stay here any longer. He led his students away from the Mo's house. Looking at Dr. Ace's retreating figure, Mo Fuhai turned to Lady Mo and asked, "Erwin, have you really decided to trust this young divine doctor?" "Yes." Lady Mo nodded, "I have faith in her, she'll be able to cure our Xiao Dai. Let's try it again." There was a far-off look in Mo Fuhai's eyes. Aunt Lin immediately went to Yang's house by car. It wasn't until approximate 2 hours later that the car once again appeared in front of the Mo family mansion. Lady Mo and Mo Fuhai personally met them at the door. "Little divine doctor, you finally arrived." Madame Mo grabbed Ni Yang's hand tightly, like a drowning person clutching the last straw for survival. Yang. When Mo Fuhai saw Ni Yang, he was stunned. He hadn't expected that the divine doctor Lady Mo had been talking about was Ni Yang. Seeing Ni Yang somehow reassured him a lot. Because he knew that Ni Yang never did anything she wasn't confident about. Ni Yang seemed a bit surprised too. "Grandpa Mo?" Lady Mo looked puzzled. "Do you know each other?" Mo Fuhai continued, Yang is the young friend I told you about who I met while fishing in Jinghua village." Lady Mo replied, "What a wonderful coincidence. Little divine doctor, our Xiao Dai is in a critical situation right now. Please take a look at her quickly." "All right." Ni Yang nodded, and they head upstairs together. Compared to 3 days ago, Mo Hudi's current situation was far more severe. Xiao Dai, Lady Mo covered her mouth, sobbing in low voice. Her emotional state was nearing the breaking point. Mo Fuhai sighed deeply and patted Lady Mo's shoulder, comforting her. Xiao Dai will be all right. Ni Yang sat by the bed, took Mo Hudi's pulse with a very serious face. A moment later, Ni Yang took a pill from her bag and put it in Mo Hudi's mouth. Yang, how is Xiao Dai now? Mo Fuhai asked anxiously. Not hiding anything, Ni Yang bluntly stated, the situation isn't good. What do we do then? Is there really no hope left? Mo Fuhai continued to ask. Ni Yang continued, there's still hope, but you should mentally prepare for the worst. I'll first try acupuncture with Xiao Dai. If she wakes up after that, then some Chinese medicine should be able to cure her. As the saying goes, the higher the hope, the greater the disappointment. Given Mo Hudi's current condition, Ni Yang couldn't give them much hope, she could only try her best. Mo Fuhai hesitated, so it seems, Xiao Dai's life or death depends on this acupuncture? Yes. Ni Yang nodded. Although acupuncture has its risks, it's far safer than a complete blood transfusion. Chapter 168, Uncle and Nephew Standoff, Believe in Yang_3. Madame Mo continued, alright, well be troubling the young divine doctor then. Please start acupuncture for Xiao Dai. Alright. Ni Yang followed, oh, 'twill also need a candle. Upon hearing this, a servant immediately went to prepare a candle. Ni Yang opened her acupuncture kit, revealing a row of gold needles against the gray-white interior. These gold needles cost Ni Yang 6 large Unity lottery tickets. Although silver needles were much cheaper, her master who taught her skills once told her that the effects of silver needles couldn't compare to gold needles. So, Ni Yang gritted her teeth and bought gold needles instead. After leaving the Mo family, Dr. Ace found Mo Baichuan and lodged a complaint about Mo Fuhai and Madame Mo. After hearing Dr. Ace's words, Mo Baichuan also felt that his grandparents had acted improperly this time. After all, they had been deceived once. How could they still trust the so-called divine doctor this time? Such a muddle-headed decision. He was now curious to see what skills this so-called divine doctor had. After Mo Baichuan got out of his car, he quickly walked towards the villa. The moment he pushed the door open, he thought he was having an hallucination. The young girl was wearing a water blue chest dress, wide leg pants, and small leather shoes, just like a university student from oil paintings of the Republic of China. Mingming was plain and natural but had rosy lips and white teeth, beautiful yet bewitching. Was this Ni Yang? Mo Baichuan had an ominous feeling. Could it be that Ni Yang was the so-called divine doctor? This was too absurd, right? Without even thinking, he knew why Ni Yang was here. She was just trying to catch his attention. Such people really stop at nothing. A look of disgust appeared on Mo Baichuan's face as he strode into the room. Hearing the sound, Madame Mo immediately looked up. Chuan is back. Suppressing his anger, Mo Baichuan replied, Grandmother, Dr. Ace is a renowned doctor in M country. How could you anger him away? He said that there's a 30% chance of success, so he definitely has the ability to cure Xiao Dai. Don't you realize that you're ruining Xiao Dai's life by doing this? That voice sounded familiar. While heating the gold needles over the candle, Ni Yang glanced over. At first glance, she saw a face that annoyed her significantly. Why was he everywhere? Ni Yang subtly averted her gaze and focused on the gold needles in her hand. What are you talking about, Chuan? Madame Mo said, I'm Xiao Dai's biological grandmother, why would I harm Xiao Dai? If anyone's going to harm Xiao Dai, it's going to be Dr. Ace. Rest easy, the young divine doctor will definitely cure Xiao Dai. Mo Fuhai nodded, your grandmother is right. Young divine doctor? Mo Baichuan scoffed, his words full of disdain, you mean the noodle seller? The noodle seller? Hearing this, Madame Mo and Mo Fuhai both looked stunned. Mo Baichuan continued, Grandpa, Grandma, you don't know yet, do you? The young divine doctor you speak of is actually a noodle seller. Oh right, grandmother, the breakfast you eat every day is made by her. At this, not only were Madame Mo and Mo Fuhai stunned, even Ni Yang was shocked. So, the old lady was Madame Mo. Fate truly is a mysterious thing. Before Madame Mo and Mo Fuhai could speak, Mo Baichuan continued, Grandma, Grandpa, don't tell me you believe that a noodle seller can cure Xiaodai? If she were truly so skillful, would she be selling noodles? Just as Ni Yang was about to speak, a deep voice suddenly came from outside the door. What's wrong with selling noodles? Can't a noodle seller be talented? Great nephew, aren't you brought up on grains as well? What right do you have to look down on noodle sellers? What right do you have to deny Yang Yang's abilities? The man outside the door walked in against the light, his handsome features gradually appearing in the air. Interestingly enough, Ni Yang also recognized this man. While he winked at Ni Yang, he walked towards her. Yang Yang, my great-nephew is born in the year of the dog, so he loves to bite people when he has nothing to do. Don't bother with him, I believe you can cure Xiaodai. Brother Mo, Ni Yang looked at him a bit joyfully. Counting the days, she hadn't seen Mo Chishan for 2 or 3 months now. Mo Baichuan hadn't expected that Ni Yang, just to get close to him, actually hooked up with Mo Chishan too. That's just terrifying. Uncle Six, you've been deceived by this little girl. She's not as simple as you think. The usually calm and composed Mo Chishan was now blushing with anger. He loosened his tie in frustration. Chapter 169, Uncle and Nephew Standoff, Believe in Yang Yang _4. Mo Baichuan continued, she's just trying to get my attention. That's why she's not leaving any stone unturned to approach you all. Mo Chishan let out a faint laugh, looking at Mo Baichuan up and down, before speaking in a slow tone, Nephew, you're flattering yourself a bit too much. Why would Ni Yang neglect a good-looking person like herself for Mo Baichuan? Is Mo Baichuan even 1/10 as good-looking as she is? Mo Baichuan took a deep breath, everything I said is true. Until today, she tried to approach me in many ways, but I rejected all her attempts. She's a woman full of schemes. Nonsense. Mo Fuhai stood up and said, Yang Yang is not that kind of person. Having known Ni Yang for a while, Mo Fuhai deeply acknowledged her upbringing and character. Grandfather, Uncle Six. Ni Yang's aim is simple. She wants to please you all, then marry me smoothly and become the eldest son's wife of the Mo family. You all better wake up. Mo Baichuan could hardly wait for his family members to see Ni Yang's true colors. This woman is too intimidating, to the extent where she is able to fool all the members of the Mo family. Yang Yang is not blind, would she choose you, nephew? Mo Chishan said as he turned to look at Mo Baichuan, pointing to his own head, in beginning to suspect that there's something wrong here, and it's more than just a little. After finishing the sentence, Mo Chishan slightly leaned towards Ni Yang. Yang Yang, don't mind him, he's not in his right mind, you just continue to help Xiaodai with the acupuncture treatment. Okay, brother Mo. Niyang nodded. Seeing how close Ni Yang and Mo Chishan were made Mo Baichuan even more infuriated. Uncle Six, you'll get Xiaodai killed by doing this. Mo Baichuan turned his head to look at Grandma Mo and Mo Fuhai. Grandfather, Grandma, please believe me, Ni Yang is just a noodle seller, how can she possibly cure Xiaodai? Uncle Six, even if you're fooled by this woman, you can't just watch Xiaodai walk toward the dead end. No matter how useless Mo Chishan is to the Mo family, his seniority is there, he will always be Mo Baichuan's Uncle Six. The Mo family places great emphasis on respecting the elders, and thus, Mo Baichuan can't confront Mo Chishan, he can only seek help from Mo Fuhai and Grandma Mo Chishan never found this nephew annoying before. But now, he found Mo Baichuan irritating every aspect. Upon hearing this, Mo Chishan's face immediately darkened. Why can't a noodle seller have medical skills? Zhu Yuanzhang, the founding emperor of the Ming dynasty, had been a beggar and a food peddler before he ascended to the throne. Can you deny his ability to govern because of his past? Nephew, have you been feeding your textbooks to dogs? So, you've only picked up the skill to look down upon others? Ni Young looked at Imo Chishin with surprise. Did Imo Chishin just show tough love? Surprisingly, this man is quite just. The corners of Ni Yang's mouth slowly curve into a soft arch, and her dimples appeared shallowly, like they could depress anyone beyond redemption. Imo Chishin subtly moved a little bit away, his figure blocking Imo Baichuan's view quite efficiently. So now, only he could see that smile. Imo Baichuan clenched his fists. Uncle Six, you're going to regret this. Imo Chishin turned again to Ni Yang, hooking his lips. Yang, will you make me regret this? Of course not. Ni Yang answered casually, as she pierced the last golden needle into Imo Hudi's Baihui acupoint. The needle just went in, and immediately turned black. At the same time, Imo Hudi, who was lying on the bed, slowly opened her eyes. Shao Dai. Both Imo Fuhai and Grandma Imo exclaimed in unison. Grandma and Grandpa, Imo Hudi spoke in a weak voice. What happened to me? Grandma Imo was overwhelmed with joy and started to cry. It's all right, Shao Dai, you're all right now. Imo Baichuan was stunned. Was this a coincidence, or just pure luck? Aside from her beauty, how could Ni Yang possibly save people's lives? Imo Chishin glanced at Imo Baichuan, then walked over to Ni Yang. Yang, thank you. You're welcome. Ni Yang gave the prescription she had written to Imo Baichuan. According to this prescription, prepare the medicine, once a day, continuous for 3 months, Shao Dai will be fully healed. Imo Chishin took the prescription. Okay. Grandma Imo walked over, holding Ni Yang's hand. She was so overwhelmed with emotions that she didn't know what she was supposed to say. Imo Chishin gently joked, Mom, you're going to scare Yang. I'm just too happy, too excited. Grandma Imo choked back her tears. Little divine Dr. Yang, I can't thank you enough. Thank you. Chapter 170, Uncle and Nephew Standoff. Believe in Yang_5. Ni Yang smiled slightly. Madam, you don't need to do this. It's all part of a doctor's duty. Imo Baichuan stood by, with a very complicated look on his face. Now, he finally understood that Ni Yang's medical skills were genuine. Her desire to be close to him was also real. Perhaps, from the very beginning, she was seeking an opportunity through curing Imo Hudi, to gain his recognition. This game she was playing, it was much bigger than he thought. Old Madame Imo turned her gaze to Imo Baichuan. Chuan, aren't you going to apologize to Yang? I will never apologize to this kind of woman. Imo Baichuan left angrily after giving Ni Yang a glance. On the side, Imo Kishin's eyes flashed dangerously, but it disappeared quickly. Once she confirmed that Imo Hudi was out of danger, Ni Yang left a small bottle of pills, and proposed to leave. Old Madame Imo said, I will have the driver take you. Imo Chishin picked up his coat with a smile. I will take Yang home. Ni Yang smiled and said, then I have to trouble brother Imo. This was her chance to thank Imo Chishin alone. To thank him for his trust and protection. Imo Baichuan looked at Ni Yang, and all that was left in his eyes were 4 words, putting on a show. She was deliberately getting close to Imo Chishin just to make him jealous. Otherwise, she would have never taken an interest in Imo Chishin, a man who has never achieved anything. Imo Chishin, who had never achieved anything and also had simple thinking, was being used by Ni Yang. Although he wanted to pull Imo Chishin out of the mud, if Imo Chishin didn't want to stand up but instead chose to roll in the mud, it wasn't surprising that Zhao Jingrong had broken off their engagement. He deserved it. Imo Chishin and Ni Yang walked shoulder to shoulder towards the downstairs, followed by old Madame Imo and Imo Fuhai. As they walked down the stairs, they saw the elegantly dressed Zheng Xianjing walking in from the outside. As soon as Zheng Xianjing saw Ni Yang, her smile froze on her face, followed by an expression of thick sarcasm. How dare Ni Yang, who nearly killed Imo Hudi, show her face here? Didn't she have any shame? Zheng Xianjing steadied her heart and walked up to the group, greeting them politely. Grandfather Imo, Grandma Imo, 6th Uncle Imo. When old Madame Mo saw Jing Xianjing, her smile was nowhere to be seen. She only curtly replied, "Xianjing is here." If it weren't for Jing Xianjing's meddling 3 days ago, Mo Hudy wouldn't have suffered, nor come close to death. What on earth is going on? Jing Xianjing began to sweat nervously. By all rights, she had saved Mo Hudy's life. Old Madame Mo shouldn't react this way. What went wrong? Just yesterday afternoon, old Madame Mo had sent her a thank you gift. No, she had to shift the blame onto Ni Yang. Jing Xianjing looked at Ni Yang and laughed. "Little divine doctor, why have you come again? Do you think Grandfather Mo and Grandma Mo are easy to fool? Do you know, 3 days ago, you nearly killed Xiao Dai. If not for her timely intervention, Mo Hudy would already be dead." Old Madame Mo turned her gaze to Jing Xianjing. "Xianjing, some issues should be left alone after a new chapter has begun. I didn't want to bring this up, but since you did, it's necessary that I say this. You, who don't even understand the basic medical knowledge, should refrain from acting as if you know everything. Otherwise, innocent people will be affected. Also, Yang Yang is now a benefactor to our Mo family, so I hope you show her more respect in the future." If it wasn't for the fact that Jing Xianjing was Jing's granddaughter, old Madame Mo would definitely have held her responsible. Upon hearing this, Jing Xianjing visibly panicked. What did old Madame Mo mean? What did she mean by implicating innocent people? What did she mean by Ni Yang being the benefactor of the Mo family? After a while, Jing Xianjing finally found her voice. "Grandma Mo, what happened to Xiao Dai?" Old Madame Mo snorted coldly. "Thanks to you, Xiao Dai hasn't died yet." Having said that, old Madame Mo walked right past Jing Xianjing. Jing Xianjing's face turned pale. What on earth had happened? Having seen Ni Yang to the door, Mo Qishan said, "Okay, Dad, Mom, you can go back to your room now. I'll take care of Yang Yang." After Mo Fuhai and old Madame Mo advised them to be careful, they turned and went back to their room. In a blink of an eye, only Mo Qishan and Ni Yang remained in the air. Mo Qishan then said, "Yang Yang, wait for me here for a moment while I fetch the car." Chapter 171, Uncle and Nephew Standoff. Believe in Yang Yang _6. Okay. Ni Yang nodded. Shortly after, Mo Qishan pushed over a Phoenix-branded bicycle. "Yang Yang, don't look at me as Mo Baichuan's uncle. Actually, in everyone's eyes, I'm nothing but a wastrel who only knows indulgences, resented by all for being mediocre. Every person in my family is more accomplished than me. Even my fiancé has broken off our engagement because of this. I don't even have my own car at home. If you mind, I can drive one of the family's cars." Ni Yang leaned to sit on the bike's back seat, smiling. "It's all right, a bicycle is pretty good." After her rebirth, she had cycled almost daily, yet had never tried the back seat. "Yang Yang," Mo Qishan continued, "knowing that I'm a wastrel despised by everyone, would you still be willing to be friends with me?" Ni Yang slightly smiled, responding, "Why wouldn't I? I'm friends with you because of who you are, not your status." When she first met Mo Qishan, Ni Yang didn't know about his status. Status is not important. All she needed to know was that Mo Qishan was a person worth trusting. Hearing this, Mo Qishan's mouth traced into a smile. Then, "Let's get going. Hold on tight, Yang Yang." The moment he finished speaking, Mo Qishan pedaled forward, and the bicycle shot off like an arrow that left the bowstring. Ni Yang never knew that a bicycle could be ridden so fast, and she was so frightened that she tightly clutched the corner of Mo Qishan's clothes. There was a gust of fresh wind carrying a mild scent of tobacco. In a short while, they reached Jinghua village. The bike was going too fast. Before the villagers could make out who was on the back seat, the bike had already disappeared from their sight. Wasn't that Yang Yang just now? It looked a bit like her. Could the guy pedaling the bike be Yang Yang's boyfriend? He looks rather handsome. That lad does indeed seem spirited, but he was riding so fast, I didn't get a good look. I was thinking of introducing Yang Yang to my nephew last time, but it looks like I won't get the chance now. I was planning to introduce Yang Yang to my baby brother. Such a pity. Although the relationships between men and women at that time were not completely liberal, it was still acceptable for boyfriends and girlfriends to date normally, as long as they weren't behaving indecently and kissing or cuddling in public places. As they approached the Ni family's house, Mo Chishan stopped the bike. Yang Yang, you should hurry home. In response, Ni Yang said, let's ride over, and you can have a cup of tea before leaving. Aren't you scared your mom will misunderstand? Mo Chishan looked at her surprisingly. Happiness came so fast that he was a bit overwhelmed. Ni Yang laughed, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. What's so frightening about this? So Mo Chishan didn't refuse any further and rode the bike in. Ni Tsuehua and Ni Chinggui were having a conversation in the courtyard. Seeing someone coming, they both looked in that direction. Ni Chenggui's first reaction was, my goodness, this lad is handsome. He looked like an attractive actor fresh off the TV screens. Xiaoma. Ni Tsuehua looked surprised at Mo Chishan. Although she had only met Mo Chishan once, she deeply remembered his face, because at that time, she had thought of taking Mo Chishan as her son-in-law. Hello, Auntie. Mo Chishan greeted politely. Ni Yang hopped off the back seat of the bike. Brother Mo, this is Auntie and I. Hello, Auntie and I. Ni Chinggui smiled, hello. Xiaoma, come on in and sit. Ni Tsuehua enthusiastically ushered Mo Chishan into the living room. Ni Yang took out some snacks from her house to entertain Mo Chishan. Brother Mo, don't be shy, eat whatever you want. Looking at the table full of snacks, Mo Chishan was indeed not shy and immediately peeled a piece of candy. It was quite sweet. Brother Mo, have some tea. Ni Yang then handed over a hot cup of tea. Mo Chishan stood up immediately, accepting the cup with both hands. Yang Yang, you don't need to go through all the trouble, they'll be leaving shortly. Ni Yang smiled, it's okay, it's just a cup of tea. Mo Chishan took a cautious sip of the green tea. The tea had a strong aroma, yet it was sweet, the taste was excellent. A while later, a bang bang sound came through the air. Mo Chishan looked up in confusion, what's that noise? Ni Yang explained, that's my mom pounding aloe vera. Pounding aloe vera? Ni Yang laughed, come on, brother Mo, let me show you. Mo Chishan followed Ni Yang's steps into the courtyard. There, they saw Ni Tsuehua holding a large mallet, pounding something in a stone mortar. Inside the mortar was a pale green transparent liquid, emitting a faint fragrance. Chapter 172, Uncle and Nephew Standoff. Believe in Yang Yang _7 Ni Tsuehua is drenched in sweat. Mo Chishan rolls up his sleeves, revealing a robust and powerful wrist, approaches Ni Tsuehua, Auntie, let me do it. Ni Tsuehua paused for a moment, then smiled, no need, you're our guest. We can't have you do this. Mo Chishan said, it's fine Auntie, I needed some exercise anyway. Without waiting for Tsuehua to respond, he grabs the pestle from her and starts pounding. The strength of a man was far greater than that of a woman. The bulky wooden pestle seemed weightless in Mo Chishan's hands. It seems that having a man in the house does have its advantages. Ni Tsuehua watches the young man before her, a satisfied expression in her eyes. Yang Yang, you stay here and chat with Xiaoma, I'll go check on Yun. Alright, Mum, you go. Ni Yang nods in agreement. Mo Chishan looks up at Ni Yang. Yang Yang, what are you using this mashed aloe for? Ni Yang responds, for skincare products. Skincare products? Mo Chishan pondered for a moment, then continued, so do you do this every day? Ni Yang nods, almost. Sounds exhausting. Manual labor like this isn't suited for a girl like you, Mo Chishan added. Have you ever considered buying a blender? It could mash up all these aloes directly. Ni Yang, of course, had thought about this before. Currently, the market for aloe vera gel and facial cleanser was booming. Fresh aloe juice was needed almost every day. If she continued to manually mash the aloes, it would not only drain her physical strength but also waste time. However, because technology at this time was not well developed, many advanced machines needed to be imported from abroad. Imported products were not only expensive but also scarce. Typically, customers had to pre-order from the seller. Moreover, the inconvenient transportation and poor economy significantly restricted the circulation of goods. It was not easy for ordinary people to purchase everyday goods. Even for Ni Yang, she had yet to find a way to buy a blender. Mo Chishan seemed to understand Ni Yang's predicament. He then said, "I happen to have a friend who deals with these imported machines. I can ask him for you." "Really?" Ni Yang looked up in surprise, a flicker of joy in her eyes. "Yes." Mo Chishan nodded. "Why would I lie to you?" "Thank you so much, brother Mo." Ni Yang said, if indeed Mo Chishan could help her find a solution, it would be a massive help for her. Mo Chishan laughed and replied, "It's just a matter of a phone call. No need to thank me." Mo Chishan pounded the aloe non-stop without appearing to get tired. Even after a long period, there wasn't a single drop of sweat on his forehead. Ni Yang tried to take over but was refused by Mo Chishan. He couldn't possibly stand by while a frail girl did such heavy work. His hands gripped the wooden pestle. Due to his excessive force, the veins on the back of his hands stood out. His hands were well-proportioned and muscular, any hand fetishist's dream. In a short while, the aloe was pounded into a thick paste. Ni Yang began to laugh. "Brother Mo, that's enough." "That's enough?" Mo Chishan looked stunned. He thought he was supposed to continue until nightfall. If he had known this, he would have pounded slower. Mo Chishan puts down the pestle. "Are you sure this is enough?" "Yes," Ni Yang nods. "It's enough. Thank you for your hard work today, brother Mo." Mo Chishan smiles, saying, "It wasn't tiring at all, consider it my daily workout." It was already in the afternoon. After resting at the Ni family residence for a bit, Mo Chishan decided to take his leave. Ni Yang said, "It's already late, why don't you stay for dinner, brother Mo?" Despite his desire to stay, Mo Chishan refused diplomatically. How could he impose himself on a family he had visited for only the second time? What if he left a frivolous impression on Ni Yang and Ni Tsuihua? He wanted to be perceived as a well-mannered young man. Mo Chishan was also a pragmatic person. On his way home, he stopped by the village's local store and bought some cigarettes and candies. These items altogether cost him 50 yuan, which made the store owner grin from ear to ear. 50 yuan. Normally, it would take him 10 days to sell this much. This young man was incredibly generous, like the god of wealth reincarnated. "Young man, you seem unfamiliar. Are you related to someone in the village?" the store owner asked. "Old man, I'm a friend of Ni Yang." The store owner nods his head. "Oh, you're a friend of Yang Yang. Wait a minute, young man." With a puzzled expression, Mo Chishan pauses. The store owner grabbed a handful of candies and shoved them into Mo Chishan's hands. "Yang Yang is a good girl who has been very helpful to all of us." If he had known earlier that this young man was a friend of Ni Yang, he would have given him a discount. After leaving the store, if Mo Chishan saw a man, he would offer a cigarette. If he encountered a woman or a child, he would give out candies. All along the way, he gained praises from the villagers. A few children recognized Mo Chishan. "Brother Mo, we remember you. Are you here to see Sister Ni Yang?" Mo Chishan squats down and ruffles their hair. "I remember you too. You're Penghu, Xiaohua, and Gooden, right?" "Yes, yes, yes. Brother Mo, you're so smart." Hence, besides the beautiful sister Ni Yang, a handsome brother Mo was added into the children's hearts. After Mo Hudi was out of danger, Mo Fuhai and Madame Mo finally found some time to visit Li Xianxian in the hospital. However, the elderly couple didn't manage to see Li Xianxian. They only saw the police officers standing guard outside the ICU ward. Li Xianxian was in critical condition due to her deep wounds. Mo Fuhai approaches one of the officers. Officer, how is the investigation into the divine doctor of Jiangnan going? Our Xiao Dai had no grievance with him. He couldn't possibly harm Xiao Dai without a reason. There must be someone behind all of this. Chapter 173, Mr. Mog, humble and mysterious, invites guests to dinner. _1 Mo Fuhai was no fool. He knew that there were still many twists and turns to this issue that needed to be unraveled. They had never seen the divine doctor from Jiangnan. It was impossible for him to deliberately prescribe the wrong medication to Mo Hudi. Moreover, the divine doctor had no reason to ruin his lifelong reputation. After all, the title of divine doctor is not easily attained in a short time, and his current honor was hard-won. The only person related to the whole incident about Mo Hudi was Li Xianxian. Mo Fuhai couldn't believe that Li Xianxian had no fault in it as well. The officer looked at the file in his hands and said, Mr. Mo, don't worry, we will thoroughly investigate this matter. According to our current investigation, the suspect's full name is Fang Zhizhong, from Dongwu City, and he's 61 years old this year. Fang Zhizhong? At these words, both Mrs. Mo and Mo Fuhai were stunned. Mrs. Mo suddenly grabbed the officer's hand, her emotions out of control. What did you say his name is? Fang Zhizhong. Mo Fuhai continued, Fang as in square, Zhi as in wisdom, and Zhong as in middle? Yes. Officer nodded. Suppressing the shock in his heart, Mo Fuhai asked, does he have any other family members? No. The officer shook his head. The suspect, Fang Zhizhong, had a son, but unfortunately, he died in a car accident 10 years ago. It's him. Mrs. Mo burst into tears. It's him. He came for revenge. Mo Fuhai's expression also darkened. No wonder. Seeing the old couple's reactions, the police asked, what's going on? Mo Fuhai sighed. It's all old history. We didn't think that he would lie in wait until now because of this. Erase the story. 10 years ago on a stormy night, Mo Hudi's parents had a car crash with a black car on their way home. Mo Hudi's parents and the driver of the black car were killed on the spot. That black car driver's father was Fang Zhizhong. No wonder the divine doctor from Jiangnan refuses service to people surnamed Mo and Yang, because Mo Hudi's father's surname was Yang. No wonder the divine doctor never reveals his face. So, that was the reason. After hearing this, the two officers also sighed. Does Li Xianxian know about the grudges and grievances between Fang Zhizhong and your Mo family? The police continued to ask. Or does anyone else know about this? If Li Xianxian knew about this, then it could be inferred that Li Xianxian deliberately told the Jiangnan divine doctor about it. If this is the case, then the divine doctor is the principal culprit, and Li Xianxian would be the accomplice. Mo Fuhai shook his head. Apart from Xianxian, no one in Beijing knows about it. We moved to Beijing after the incident happened. The Mo family's ancestral home, in fact, was in Jiangnan too. And, Li Xianxian was just a 10-year-old child at that time. How could she possibly know about these things? Most importantly, the incident was taboo in the Mo family. The people who knew about it kept it among themselves, so no one would talk about it. Li Xianxian couldn't possibly foresee this. Could it be that someone in your family talked about this? The officer continued to ask. That should not be it, Mo Fuhai replied. This incident is taboo in our Mo's family. No one dares to mention it generally. With the case progression till now, it could basically be closed as malicious revenge because the only main suspect is already dead. But, for the sake of caution, the police wouldn't easily close the case. Mrs. Mo clutched her face and sobbed. We should have suspected it earlier. When he said that he would not treat people with Mo and Yang surnames, we should have been on guard then. Poor Xianxian got implicated. Mo Fuhai sighed. Xianxian, the child, wasn't at fault. The main responsibility is on us. We were careless. The police left the hospital after taking their statements. Mo Fuhai and Mrs. Mo found Li Xianxian's chief doctor, Dr. Wang. How is Xianxian now? Dr. Wang looked very serious. The patient's current situation is very critical. her will to survive is very weak. Whether she will wake up or not depends on her fate. Mrs. Mo continued, "Can we go in and see her now?" The doctor shook his head, "Not yet, she needs to be transferred to the general ward after a week. Only then can her family visit." Chapter 174, Low-Key and Mysterious Mr. Mogg, treating guests to a meal _2. In the center of Beijing, there is an upscale tea house. Many business people choose to negotiate here, and of course, besides businessmen, there are also many high-ranking officials and wealthy young masters. In an antique private room, the subtle music notes and the scent of sandalwood fill the room, giving an illusion of being in an ancient time. Through the colorful beaded curtain, one can vaguely hear respectful work reports. If you listen carefully, you'll find that these voices are all speaking very good French. "Mr. Mogg, at 10:30 tomorrow morning, someone will come from country. Who do you think we should get to meet them at the airport? Also, the heads of the Li, Wang, and Zhao families have all invited you to their parties. Shall we just reject them all as we have always done before?" The man lazing on the sofa has a cigarette between his fingers. The smoky haze blurs his handsome features. When he speaks, it's also in fluent French. "My time is not to be spent on irrelevant people. For everything else, you can handle it. By the way, I see that Mo Baichuan has been quite idle recently. Figure out some work to give him." At this, everyone looked incredulously at the man on the sofa. When did Mo Baichuan offend Mr. Mogg? With Mr. Mogg's status, the Mo family wouldn't even be worth mentioning in his sight. There's no need for him to go out of his way to make life difficult for a small fry like Mo Baichuan. "I have to go, I have other things to attend to." The man crushes his cigarette, stands up, and heads for the exit without giving the others a chance to respond. Two foreign assistants with blonde hair and blue eyes immediately stand to see him out. Just as he's almost at the door, the man pauses as though recalling something. He looks back and says, "Oh, and get me a blender, imported, good quality." After a pause, he adds, "It's for making skincare products." "Skincare products?" The two assistants are taken aback. When did Mr. Mogg start going into the skincare business? When do you need it? By tomorrow at the latest. The man responds. All right. Though it's hard to import products at such short notice, especially obscure items like blenders, no one questions who Mr. Mogg is. As long as he gives the word, even the stars would be plucked from the sky and personally delivered to him. Wherever he goes, Mr. Mogg is a symbol of power. After giving these instructions, the man leaves the tea house, leaving the two assistants looking at each other in bewilderment. Zhao Jingrong, dressed flamboyantly, walks into the main hall of the tea house. Because she received reliable gossip that Mr. Mogg would be visiting the tea house today, Zhao Jingrong naturally came to accidentally bump into Mr. Mogg. With her credentials, as long as she's willing to put in the effort, and as long as Mr. Mogg isn't blind, he is sure to fall for her. Once she wins over Mr. Mogg, then she will be the most honored woman in the entire Beijing. With this thought, Zhao Jingrong lifts her chin high, her eyes filled with disdain wherever they fall. Suddenly, Zhao Jingrong tenses up. The familiar figure ahead looked somewhat familiar. The first thing that meets her gaze are polished leather shoes, then tailored custom suit pants, a white shirt paired with a black suit, a very successful businessman's attire. Moving further up, there's a sexy Adam's apple, a delicate jawline, thin lips, a high and straight nose like it was carved from a knife, and the slightly uplifted phoenix eyes, filled with infinite light, are like the starry sea. There's no lack of handsome people in this circle, but ones as handsome as this man are hard to come by. Zhao Jingrong's heart skips a beat wildly, but in the next second, the admiration in her eyes is completely replaced by thick disgust. Because she suddenly recognizes that this man is none other than her ex-fiancé, Mo Qishan. What a shame, such a good-looking face, how did it end up on Mo Qishan's face? If Mo Qishan wasn't a complete loser, he might have been worthy of her. What a pity. She doesn't need to guess why Mo Qishan would show up here. He must have known that she would come here today, so he came here to wait by the rabbit's den, hoping to create an accidental meeting. Such a man is really horrifying. Isn't he done already? They're clearly divorced, yet he still wants to pester her. Just like a fly. Disgusting. Chapter 175. Mr. Mogg, humble and mysterious, invites guests to dinner. For a lady of her caliber, how could she possibly be suitable for a good-for-nothing like Mo Chishan? Zhao Jingrong swallowed her disgust and walked straight to Mo Chishan. Mo Chishan. Yes? Mo Chishan raised an eyebrow slightly. Zhao Jingrong angrily said, Mo Chishan. What the hell do you want? Didn't I make it clear when I was at your Missouri family's place last time? We won't have any relationship in the future. Can you please be aware of your own situation? Is it fun to keep pestering me like this? Does he have no shame at all? Mo Chishan chuckled. Ma'am, it seems like you're the one who's not realizing your own situation. Is it fun to throw yourself at me like this? Throw herself at him? Would she throw herself at this loser? Zhao Jingrong snorted lightly, her eyes filled with sarcasm. I would throw myself at you? Don't daydream. If that's not the case, could you please step aside? Mo Chishan looked down on Zhao Jingrong and spoke slowly. Good dogs don't stand in the way. The last sentence, although a dirty retort, came off rather elegantly from his lips, without a hint of discord. With that, Mo Chishan pushed past Zhao Jingrong, strides towards the exit whilst taking out a handkerchief from his pocket to carefully wipe his fingers, as if they'd been dirted. Upon passing a garbage bin, he promptly threw the soiled handkerchief in. This scene had Zhao Jingrong trembling with fury. For someone so despised, how dare he treat her like this? Mo Chishan walked directly out to the tea room, pushing away a Phoenix brand bicycle and left. A bicycle? This loser isn't even ashamed of riding an old bicycle. Indeed, you can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. Seeing this, Zhao Jingrong's eyes filled with disdain, and much of her anger dissipated. Although a bicycle is a rarity in this era, and an unattainable luxury for the average family, in the wealthy circles, the cost of a bicycle is less than what they'd spend on an afternoon tea. Mo Chishan will only ever amount to riding a bicycle in this life. Second floor of the tea room. Two blonde-haired, blue-eyed men stood on the balcony. One of them exclaimed, why would our Mr. Mogg go out on a bicycle? It just didn't fit his persona. For someone like Mr. Mogg, at the very least, he should be chauffeured around in a private jet, or if not, at least a car. What the hell is with the bicycle? Who would believe that the mighty Mr. Mogg's vehicle of choice would be a bicycle, if they hadn't seen it for themselves? It's truly a subversion of one's sense of reality. Another replied, Mr. Mogg keeps a low profile. I've heard even his parents and friends don't know about his achievements. My God. That's seriously low-key. Ordinary people, if they have any achievement, can't wait for everyone to know about it. But Mr. Mogg, he keeps his success to himself. NI family's home. NI Yang's skincare products have been selling extremely well recently. NI Yang calculated that she had made 2,000 yuan so far from her skincare line. Adding in her previous savings and deducting daily expenses, NI Yang currently had a total of 4,250 yuan in her account. Just then, the voice of NI Tsuhua could be heard from outside. Yang, Xiaomo's here. NI Yang promptly put away the money. Oh, he's here. Mo Chishan didn't arrive alone. A man who looked somewhat like a sidekick accompanied him. Brother Mo. Mo Chishan nodded. This is my friend, Wu Darning. He's the middleman dealing with those imported mixers. Hello, Sister Yang. Wu Darning bowed his head to NI Yang. Sister Yang? Is she that old? It felt rather awkward to be called Sister Yang by someone who looked nearly twice her age. NI Yang was taken aback for a moment, then said, Hello, Mr. Wu. Wu Darning was shocked. Sister Yang, there's no need for formalities. We're all friends here, just call me by my first name. Call him Mr. Wu. He's afraid that Brother Six will beat him up. Mo Chishan continued, Yang Yang, the mixer that Wu Darning brought over for you is here. Really? Ni Yang was somewhat surprised. Yep. Mo Chishan nodded, it's in the yard right now, come and take a look. Ni Yang followed Mo Chishan out. There was a blue farm truck parked with a grayish-green machine in the yard. The machines of this period hadn't undergone much improvement, so they were quite heavy and bulky. Chapter 176, Mr. Mogg, humble and mysterious, invites guests to dinner_4. Yang Yang, does this look okay to you? Mo Chishan continued to ask. Ni Yang nodded, yes, it's okay. Thank you, brother Mo. Mo Chishan smiled faintly, no need to thank me. I didn't do much. Ni Yang turned to Wu Darning, how much does this machine cost? Wu Darning said, 500 yuan. 500 yuan? Is it so cheap? As far as Ni Yang knew, ordinary color TVs in the market are selling at high prices of 1,000 to 1,500 yuan now. Regular black and white TVs are also around 500 to 600 yuan, not to mention large items like a blender. Ni Yang had previously asked about prices from secondary dealers too, to know that the price of a blender starts from at least a 5-figure sum. And even with such a high price, it wasn't available immediately, there was a waiting time, and an uncertain one at that. This 500 yuan was beyond Ni Yang's expectations. Seeing Ni Yang's reaction, Wu Darning rushed to say, Sister Yang, if you think it's expensive, we can still negotiate the price. No, it's not that, Ni Yang continued, won't you lose money if you sell it to me for 500 yuan? Wu Darning laughed, no, no. How can we businessmen make a loss? Sister Yang, let me tell you the truth. This machine was previously reserved by another buyer who paid 2/3 of the deposit but later breached the contract. I don't need this machine, so I'm anxious to sell it off. If you think the price is not right, we can still negotiate. Upon hearing this, Ni Yang nodded. No wonder it was so cheap, it was because of this reason. So it means she was quite lucky. This kind of chance is equivalent to winning a 5 million yuan lottery. Ni Yang then said, wait here, I'll go get the money for you. All right. Wu Darning nodded. After Ni Yang left, Mo Chishan quietly gave Wu Darning a thumbs up. Wu Darning grinned sheepishly. In fact, there was no such defaulting buyer at all. And Wu Darning wasn't a trader of imported goods either. He was just delivering lines according to the script. And the director of this act was Mo Chishan. Mo Chishan knew Ni Yang would not accept this machine for nothing, and if he tried to give her such an expensive gift, it might backfire, so he had to make up a story. The actual price of the machine was 20 times the 500 yuan. Soon, Ni Yang came out with the 500 yuan. You count. Wu Darning took the banknotes and counted them, it's all there. Sister Yang, where would you like us to put this machine? Ni Yang thought for a moment, then said, could you please help me put it in the living room? All right. The two men got up on the truck and carried the 200-pound machine down to the living room. Thank you so much, here, have some tea. Ni Tsuehua brought over 2 cups of tea. Thank you, Auntie. Mo Chishan took the cup and politely replied, no trouble at all. Wu Darning quickly added, yes, it's no trouble at all. After finishing their tea, Mo Chishan and Wu Darning did not stay long. They quickly left the Ni family's house. This time, Ni Yang packed lots of goodies for Mo Chishan again. She also gave quite a few to Wu Darning. Wu Darning dared not refuse, took them nervously, and as soon as he got in the car, immediately handed all the snacks back to Mo Chishan. Even if he had 100 times the courage, he wouldn't dare to eat Ni Kuihua's food. Seeing all the snacks returned, Mo Chishan's expression brightened slightly. The things Yang Yang gave were only for him. An eerie silence fell in the car. Wu Darning initiated a conversation, Brother Six, our sister-in-law Six is really beautiful. Mo Chishan narrowed his eyes, turning to look at Wu Darning, You were looking at her? Realizing the implications of his words, Wu Darning, terrified, hurriedly said, "No. I wasn't. If you weren't looking at her, how would you know she's beautiful?" Wu Darning, he wished he could vanish on the spot. A chilling voice came again, "You won't have your bonus for this month." At this moment, Wu Darning wished he could slap himself. It's all because of your loose lips. It's all because of your loose lips. It's all because of your loose lips. On the way to the village, they didn't encounter many people. However, on their way back, they met many villagers who came to watch the commotion. There was also a group of children running after the car. The car was a rarity at this time, usually seen only in the city. The car windows were made of special material. You could see outside from the inside, but you couldn't see inside from the outside. Chapter 177, Mr. Mogg, humble and mysterious, invites guests to dinner _5. Mo Chishan lazily leaned back in his chair, crossing his legs, slowly unwrapped a candy and popped it into his mouth. So sweet. The candy from Yang Yang was really tasty. It was a very casual posture, but he exuded an aristocratic aura. After Mo Chishan and Wu Darning left, Yang tried using the mixer and found that its features were really powerful. Not only could it smash things up, it also had an automatic peeling function. However, the only downside was that it was too noisy. After all, the technology wasn't as mature as in the future. A bit of noise was understandable. Overall, the 500 yuan was really well spent. No, it was more like getting more than you bargained for. Normally, 500 yuan wouldn't even be able to buy an imported mixer. Yang, is this the mixer you're talking about? Chinggui walked in from outside, asked with curiosity on his face. Yang nodded. Chinggui laughed and said, "That Xiaoma is really impressive. He could even get an imported machine." Yang, this must be very expensive, right? Yang replied, "Actually not that expensive, just so happened I got a good deal. Mr. Mogg's friend was in a hurry to sell it, so it only costed 500 yuan. Although 500 yuan may be equivalent to Chengui's annual income, getting an imported machine at this price was still cheap." Following on, Chinggui said, "Yang, you're so lucky. By the way, I have a few colleagues who need skincare products. Do you have any in stock now?" The skincare products that Yang made were really effective. Good word spread mill by mill, 10 by 10. During this time, Chinggui had already helped her sell more than 20 sets. And Yang didn't take Chinggui for granted. She not only provided Chinggui free skincare products but also gave her 1 yuan commission per bottle, totaling 2 yuan per set. For Chinggui, this 2 yuan came incredibly easily. All she had to do was pitch the products a bit, and the skincare buyers would be immensely grateful. Now, she is really popular in her company. Chinggui had always considered Yang as her lucky star. Ever since Yang moved here, her days had been increasingly prosperous. Yang said, "I have 2 sets left, Aunt how many sets do you need?" Chinggui smiled and said, "I need 5 sets, you can give me 2 first, and I'll deliver them to them." Okay. Yang nodded, and turned to go into the room to get the skincare products. When she went to bed at night, Yang laid in bed and thought hard. Since there's a growing market demand for her skincare products now, she has to start preparing some things. Firstly, she needed to register a trademark. Secondly, she needed to apply for production and health licenses and other documents. Lastly, she needed to research new products. Just selling facial cleanser and aloe vera gel wouldn't work. Watching the store being about to finish its renovation, these 3 major things had to be taken care of immediately. Otherwise, when everything piles up, there wouldn't be enough time. Yang had always been an action-oriented person. Early the next day, she went downtown to apply for licenses. This era had few individual businesses, and people's awareness of trademarks was weak. Even fewer people would apply for trademarks. It didn't require lots of applications as it does in the future, followed by lots of reviews. Ni Young only spent a day to get all the licenses in order. The trademark that Ni Young registered was Ice Skin Jade Face. This name was common and easy to understand in this era. If put in the future, it would not be outdated, and it clearly indicates that the products sold are skin-related. Having registered the trademark, Ni Young went back home and spent the night designing the bottle and packaging for the skincare products. If you decide to make skincare products, you must normalize the process. Ni Young was never a sloppy person. Ni Young had good hands-on skills. The things she drew were lifelike, just like pictures taken by a camera. They were just beautiful. Mom, what do you think of this bottle and packaging? Ni Young showed the finished design sketches to Ni Tsuehua. Ni Tsuehua nodded continuously. It looks good. It looks good. Ni Tsuehua from the past never knew that her daughter was so capable. Even though she was just a junior high school graduate, she was able to read, draw, cook, and excel in medical skills. The day after she confirmed the design sketch, Ni Young found a factory, ordered a batch of bottles and packages, and paid a 500 yuan deposit. After she left the factory, Ni Young paid a visit to the traditional Chinese medicine store, where she bought some lingji, monkshood, Asarum Seboldii, Atractylodes macrocephala, Angelica dihurica, Gastrodia alata, and other Chinese medicinal materials. Chapter 178, The Low-Key and Mysterious Mr. Mogg, Treats Guests to Dinner _6. As recorded in the Compendium of Materia Medica, these herbal medicines all have excellent freckle-removing effects. That's right, the new product that Ni Young is launching is designed for freckle removal. Because once a woman has had a child, more or less, she will get some freckles on her face. In the future generations, those freckle-removing skincare products will be very popular. After returning home, Ni Young began to make her freckle-removing face cream. Ni Young first ground the purchased herbal medicines into powder with a blender, then added aloe juice, milk, cucumber juice, and stirred it into a paste. Then she added distilled water and other secret ingredients. Only then, it was finished. The final face cream was yellow-green in color, with a faint scent of herbal medicine, very refreshing and pleasant. Since Chingue had a few faint freckles on his face, Ni Young gave it to him to try. Freckle removal products surely won't produce immediate results. It wasn't until the third morning that Chengui's surprised voice came from the yard. Yang. The color of the freckles on my face has started to fade. Chingue, in order to see the effect, intentionally left a freckle untreated. Now the color of the other freckles on his face has significantly faded, only that untreated one remained yellow-brown. Originally, Chingue didn't think this thing could remove freckles, but he didn't expect that Ni Young would give him such a big surprise. Congratulations, Aunt Ni. Ni Young opened her mouth with a smile. No woman doesn't love beauty, so at that moment, Chingue couldn't stop smiling. It's me who should be thanking you. After that, Chingue asked, Yang, do you want to sell this freckle-removing face cream? Not for sale yet. Ni Young continued, I'll give you some samples. Distribute them to those who have bought facial cleanser and aloe gel. If they like it, they will definitely come back for more. There are very few freckle-removing products in this era, and there are even fewer with good effects. So, just by relying on Chengui's recommendation, most people certainly wouldn't believe it. Therefore, proof was needed through actual performance. The sample bottles were small, enough for about 3 days' usage, and by the time the cream was used up and the effect was visible, everyone who had sampled it would surely want to buy more. Chingue took the samples, nodding approvingly. Yang, you are so smart. Not only could this strategy attract many customers, but it could also win over hearts. A free bottle of freckle cream. Who wouldn't be happy? Because the freckle cream worked so well, Ni Young worked overtime to make plenty more. At this moment, Chingue came in from outside. Yang, we are running out of aloe vera. Ni Yang had indeed planted a lot of aloe vera before, but because she had been making facial cleanser and aloe gel frequently lately, there wasn't much aloe vera left in the vegetable garden. Ni Yang thought for a moment and then said, "In that case, Mom, could you go around the village tomorrow and let them know that we're buying aloe vera? 1 cent per pound." Aloe vera is a very common plant because it has the effect of healing burns. Almost every household in Jinghua village has planted it. Moreover, aloe vera is a kind of propagating plant. Usually, after successfully planting one, it will proliferate into many more. Suihua nodded her agreement. "Okay, Yang Yang." The next day, Suihua, holding her baby, went to the big locust tree at the center of Jinghua village. Because there was no television or mobile phones in this era, people would gather together to chat during their free time, sharing each other's gossip. Therefore, almost every village has a gathering point. When idle, the women of the village would gather and chat. Whose daughter had a bad marriage, whose son got admitted to college, which couple had a fight last night, the latest gossip could always be heard at the gathering point. And the locust tree in the center of the village was the gathering point for Jinghua village. By the time Suihua arrived, the women were already chatting lively. A few older women were chatting fervently, while the young girls and wives listened with interest. Seeing Suihua coming, everyone greeted her warmly. "Suihua is here. Come and sit down. These are the melon seeds roasted by my family. Have some. These are the ripe persimmons from my garden." Not only was Suihua beautiful, but she was also very honest and never gossiped about anyone. In addition to all the help that Ni Yang had given to the villagers, Suihua had also become one of the most popular women among these ladies. Chapter 179, Mr. Mogg, humble and mysterious, invites guests to dinner_7. Everyone would vent their grievances and share fresh gossip with Ni Suihua first because she could keep a secret and never laugh at others. After Ni Suihua sat down, she told everyone about Ni Yang's plan to buy aloe vera. Everyone was stunned when they heard it. Yuans per kilogram? Was Ni Suihua joking? For Jinghua village inhabitants, the aloe vera was an insignificant wild plant. Even the local vegetables were only sold at 5 cents per kilogram, yet this wild plant was being sold at yuans per kilogram. In the eyes of the villagers, the price of yuans per kilogram was astronomical. "Suihua, don't joke with us." "Exactly, if you keep speaking like this, we will take it seriously." Ni Suihua laughed and said, "I'm not joking, my daughter Yang is really buying aloe vera at yuans per kilogram. Moreover, why would I joke about something like this?" "You're not joking with us?" Everyone was doubtful. Ni Suihua nodded seriously. "Really? I'm not fooling you. When will your Yang start buying?" Ni Suihua continued, "As long as there is, we will buy it any time." Ni Yang said that good goods were not afraid of stockpiling. Therefore, no matter how much aloe vera people brought, they would accept it all. "So, does your Yang want the root, or not?" It was best to clarify this. Ni Suihua replied, "No need for the roots, you folks can just cut the whole aloe vera with a knife." After Ni Suihua finished speaking, those who were still chatting disappeared in an instant. Everyone went back to harvest aloe vera. When everyone had left, Ni Suihua also took the child home. Shortly after she arrived home, a villager came with half a bag of aloe vera. Ni Suihua had the scales ready, 31 kilograms, a total of 3 yuan and 1 cent. When the villager took the 3 yuan and 1 cent in hand, he was still in a daze. Only then did he truly believe that Ni Suihua hadn't lied to them. The more villagers came to the Ni family to deliver aloe vera, they went in with aloe vera and came out with money in their hands. Almost everyone had a smile on their face. In this era, it is not hard for someone who knows how to do business to earn money, but it is difficult for these honest villagers to make money. Common farmers work hard in the fields all year round and can't make 100 or 80 yuan. But today, they only sold a little aloe vera and made 3 or 4 yuan. You should know, aloe vera is much easier to manage than the crops in the field. It seems they can plant more aloe vera next spring. Since Ni Yang came to Jinghua village, their days in the village had been getting better and better. It seems that Ni Yang was truly their lucky star. After purchasing the aloe vera, Ni Yang rode her bike to the city. The shop renovation had been completed, and the final cleanup had begun. In 3 days, the shop could officially open for business. At this moment, Wang Jinfang was busy setting up tables and chairs. Seeing Ni Yang walking in, Wang Jinfang greeted her with a smile. Yang is here. Aunt Jinfang. Ni Yang continued, where are Uncle Tinu and the others? Wang Jinfang replied, your Uncle Tinu and the others are cleaning the kitchen and arranging the kitchen utensils. Oh. Ni Yang nodded. Aunt Jinfang, I have something to discuss with you. Go ahead. Wang Jinfang wiped her hands on her clothes and sat opposite Ni Yang. Ni Yang continued, I want to invite you and Aunt Zhou to work in the noodle restaurant after it opens. The salary will still be 2 yuan a day. I have already spoken to Aunt Zhou about this, what do you think? Ni Yang was busy with her skincare business, so if she didn't hire 2 more people for the restaurant, she wouldn't be able to handle it. After considering all aspects, Zhou Qingshang and Wang Jinfang seemed to be the best choices. Zhou Qingshang was educated and reasonable. Although Wang Jinfang was a bit spirited in character, sometimes, a spirited person was necessary to rule out evil. Ni Yang had experience running a catering business in her past life. She knew that sometimes there would be some extremely difficult customers, and even some who would come to cause trouble. Zhou Qingshang and Wang Jinfang could complement each other's personalities. Upon hearing this, Wang Jinfang looked at Ni Yang in surprise, unable to close her excited mouth. This was simply a surprise from heaven. 2 yuan a day. 60 yuan a month, 720 yuan a year. My goodness. She had not earned this much money in 3 years. Upon hearing this, Wang Jinfang nodded repeatedly, I am willing. I am willing. Ni Yang smiled and took out the labor contract, then please sign the labor contract. The labor contract system was not yet enforced at this time, but Ni Yang had seen too many things in her past life. The human heart was too difficult to measure, so some things that should be signed must be signed. Although Wang Jinfang couldn't read, she trusted Ni Yang. Yang, I can't read, can I press a handprint for you? Ni Yang nodded and flipped the contract to the last page. Yes, you can press a handprint here. The labor contract was in 2 copies, one for Wang Jinfang and one for Ni Yang to keep. Now that the shop was officially finished, Ni Yang was ready to invite everyone for a big meal. So, she talked to Wang Tinu about this matter. Uncle Tinu, I am going to the vegetable market now to buy some food. You invite everyone to come to my house for dinner tonight. Make sure they bring all the old people and children from their homes, don't keep formalities with me. Ni Yang is a grateful person, she always remembered the matter from last time and because of that, she had the idea of leading the whole village to prosperity. Otherwise, she would not have bought aloe vera from the villagers. There is a reward for everything you do, since the villagers of Jinghua village showed her the warmth of brightness, she would not behave like an ingrate. Wang Tinu was a little embarrassed. Yang, you don't have to go through so much trouble, it's not easy for you to make money. But Ni Yang did not give Wang Tinu a chance to refuse. Uncle Tinu, let's consider it settled then, I am going to buy food now. Elsewhere. Mo Hudi's condition had improved greatly in recent days. After drinking Chinese medicine for several days, she could now go downstairs and play with Yang Guobao on her own. Both, Old Lady Mo and Mo Fuhai were pleased to see this. After so many years, they finally witnessed this scene. However, the situation of Li Xianxian was not very good. She was still in a coma and was in a state of semi-vegetative. The old lady Mo came to the hospital to visit Li Xianxian and was anxious. At this moment, the maid Lin Sa said, Old lady, the young divine Dr. Ni Yang is so powerful, maybe, she has a way to wake Miss Xianxian? Chapter 180, Investigation of Li Xianxian and her mother. noodle restaurant opens one. Upon hearing this, old Mrs. Mo's eyes lit up. That's right, we can find N.I. Yang. N.I. Yang's medical skills are so brilliant, she can definitely save Xian Xian. In old Mrs. Mo's heart, N.I. Yang was becoming an ever-present beacon of hope. Soon after, old Mrs. Mo continued, isn't N.I. Yang coming to see Xiaodia for a follow-up examination tomorrow? Yes. Mrs. Lin nodded. Old Mrs. Mo added, then let's wait for N.I. Yang to come and examine Xiao Dai tomorrow, then she can look at Xian Xian. It was already late afternoon, and it wouldn't be appropriate to invite N.I. Yang over at this hour. They could afford to wait a little longer. Old Mrs. Mo stayed in the ward for a while, then went to find the chief doctor to understand Li Xiangxian's condition before leaving the hospital. N.I. family. Since N.I. Yang decided to invite all the villagers for dinner that night, she bought a lot of food. By N.I. Yang's estimation, there were over 100 villagers in Jinghua village. A table of 10 would require 10 tables in total. In these times when everyone was not exactly living in abundance, N.I. Yang bought 30 kilograms of fat pork, 10 roosters, 20 pig's feet, 10 fish, and some tofu skin, kelp, duck blood, and potatoes for vegetarian dishes. She planned to prepare 3 hearty dishes, a grilled fish, and simply blanch the vegetables in the fish soup for efficiency and convenience. 30 kilograms of pork cost her 90 yuan, 10 roosters were 30 yuan, 20 pig's feet were 15 yuan, and 10 fish were 3 yuan. Including the vegetables and white wine, N.I. Yang spent a total of over 160 yuan. 160 yuan could only buy you one meal at a street food stall in the future, but in this era, it could put up 10 tables of a lavish feast. All in all, it was money well spent. Seeing N.I. Yang bring so much food home, N.I. Tsuehua was surprised. Yang, why did you buy so much? When will we finish all these? N.I. Yang said with a smile, Mom, our shop is now fully renovated, so I wanted to invite everyone for a feast to celebrate. N.I. Tsuehua wasn't stingy. They had received a lot of care from the villagers since they moved to Jinghua village. That's right, we should treat everyone to a good meal. Speaking of which, Yang, did you buy extra meat? Vegetables could be had by everyone, it's the meat dishes that mattered. N.I. Yang nodded, yes, I did. Rest assured, everyone will have a feast tonight. N.I. Tsuehua helped N.I. Yang to unload the groceries, then started to wash the vegetables and chop the meat. Little N.I. Yun was lying in his cradle, holding a little rubber duck and playing on his own, not crying or making a fuss. His cuteness was truly heartwarming. N.I. Yang planned to make braised pork for dinner, with 10 tables in total and 30 kilograms of pork, each table could have 3 kilograms. Braised pig's feet with soybeans, there were 20 pig's feet in total, each table could have 2. Then there would be roasted chicken, 10 chickens in total, each table could precisely have 1. The final main dish was grilled fish. As there were not enough stoves for everyone to cook and eat at the same time, N.I. Yang could only grill the fish first, then cook it in a pot with accompanying vegetables and serve it at the table. After confirming the menu, N.I. Yang began to prepare the braised pork. Because the pots at home were not large enough, the 20 kilograms of pork had to be cooked in 2 pots. With the braised pork simmering in the pot, N.I. Yang began to marinate the chicken. When the chicken was marinated, N.I. Tsuehua had the oven fire ready. Luckily, the oven was spacious enough to accommodate 10 roosters comfortably. In no time, the small courtyard was filled with tempting aromas. It made one's mouth water just smelling it. When she had almost finished the dinner preparations, N.I. Yang went to the neighboring houses to borrow some tables and stools, and invited everyone to come for dinner. In just a while, the originally quiet farmhouse courtyard started to bustle with activity. The elderly, children, men, and women of the families all came. People were fairly straightforward in those times. If you were good to me, I would be good to you. There was no scheming or insensitivity. So, everyone arrived bearing gifts. Some brought chicken eggs. Others brought fruit from the trees in their yard. At this time of the year, there were oranges and chestnuts available. In no time, the table in the N.I. family's living room was piled high with all kinds of little gifts. Immediately, Yang starts herding everyone to sit down. Since there were many children, some of them didn't reach the table and stood next to the adults. The food was sumptuous. Shiny red braised pork, braised pig's feet with soybeans, glistening roasted chicken, and in the middle of the table was a large pot of grilled fish, surrounded by blanched vegetables and tofu skin. Chapter 181, Investigation into Li Xianxian Mother and Daughter, Noodle Restaurant Opening _2. The dishes may be few in number, with only 4, but each one is an indisputably meat dish. Even before anyone started using their chopsticks, everyone was already swallowing saliva in tacit agreement. Usually, even during the new year, they had never seen so much meat. Yang, you really didn't have to be this considerate. Exactly, you two are being too polite. Yang chuckled and said, my mother and I owe much gratitude to everyone for their care and assistance during our time since moving to Jinghua village. I raise this cup of tea in place of wine to express my thanks to everyone. At that, Yang picked up her tea cup from the table, drained it in one gulp, showing a touch of the demeanor of a heroine from ancient times. If this young girl were a boy, she would surely do great things in the future. Such a shame she's a girl. The older generation observed Yang, a sense of regret evident in their eyes. The bias favoring boys over girls was deep-seated in their hearts. In their minds, girls simply couldn't accomplish anything great. Even if there were 10 girls, they still wouldn't be equal to one boy. In China, there's a saying that goes, a married daughter is like spilled water. Boys can carry on the family line. A family without a boy would be known as a family ending its line. At this time, even in Jinghua village, there were still numerous cases of newborn girls being abandoned. Girls had never been treated fairly or equitably. What Yang intended to do was subvert the weak status that girls held in people's hearts. To let people know that girls today can also hold up their own patch of sky. An elder with considerable respect in the village stood up and said, Yang, your words are too polite. We should be the ones thanking you and your mother. You two have done us many favors in our daily lives. Moreover, since you moved to Jinghua village, it shows that we are destined to be connected. Henceforth we are all part of Jinghua village. Old Sheng is correct. You and your mother are part of Jinghua village. We're all from the same village, let's not talk as if we're from two different ones. Chengui had been married into Jinghua village for over 20 years, and this was the first time she realized that the villagers of Jinghua could be so united and welcoming. Previously, everyone seemed to be busy with their own things, and, except for funerals and weddings where they would gather, there were hardly opportunities to gather together. The relationship among neighbors was not as harmonious as it is now. Moreover, they were not easily accepting of outsiders. Outsiders also found it hard to integrate into the locals' way of life. The main reason why Tsuehua and her daughter were so easily accepted by the villagers was because Yang knew how to interact with people, was generous with money, and knew how to win people's hearts. It was hard to imagine that Yang, a 17-year-old girl, could have such ability. Whether it was her business acumen or her interpersonal skills, she outperformed most adults. At the same time, Chengui knew well that Jinghua village, a place so small, could not contain Yang. This girl would one day dazzle everyone. If Yang had been born in the Warring States period, she could easily have been a female general or an empress. Although China has a history of favoring males over females, over the past 5,000 years, there have been women who became queens and government officials. To avoid any possible suspicion, men and women sat separately during the meal. There were 5 tables for men, 5 for women, and some children eating at smaller tables by the side. Throughout the meal, there were exclamations of delight. This fish is too delicious. And this braised pork is excellent. Is this chicken grilled? These simple villagers had never eaten such delicious foods in their lives. Normally, if they bought meat, they simply cooked it haphazardly. None could match the exquisite dishes made by Yang. In the majority of households, the only cooking ingredients were oil and salt. Some couldn't even afford to use oil. Ni Young also made sour plum soup, so while the men were drinking alcohol, the women were drinking sour plum soup. Most of the women were trying this novel drink for the first time. They all questioned Ni Young on how to prepare it. Ni Young didn't withhold the knowledge, she directly shared the recipe to prepare sour plum soup. Since the sour plum soup wasn't an original creation of hers, she didn't claim it as her own. Some of the more thoughtful women noted down the recipe, planning to prepare it for their children to drink. They could also serve it to relatives and friends when they visited during the New Year festivities. This would not only be economical but also prestigious. Chapter 182, Investigating Li Xianxian and her daughter, Noodle Restaurant opens _3. This meal was so satisfying that everyone was left with oily lips, and the children were all full to the brim. After the meal, it was already dark outside. The men went home, and the women stayed at the Ni family home to help wash dishes and clean up the tables. With an entire 10 tables of guests, there were more than 100 bowls used just for the meal alone, not to mention the serving dishes. If it was left to just Ni Tsuehua and Ni Yang to clean up, there was no telling when they would finish. The women, all accustomed to such chores at home, did not slack off just because it was not their own household. They were even more thorough in helping than they would have been in their own homes, and they did not allow Ni Tsuehua and Ni Yang to help. They had all just enjoyed a large and satisfying meal at the Ni family home, leaving them not just satisfied but also high-spirited. Thus, they worked with smiles on their faces. It should be noted that most of them hadn't eaten meat for almost a year. As the saying goes, many hands make light work, and amidst their chatter and laughter, the Ni family's courtyard was restored to its former state in less than half an hour. This meal was not just a simple meal for Ni Young. This meal signified that she and her mother were officially settling down in Jinghua village from this day onward. The next day was the day Ni Young was to go to the Mo family for a follow-up visit. In the morning, as soon as she opened the door, she found Mo Chishan waiting for her on his bicycle. Yang, my mother sent me to pick you up. Ni Young didn't waste time, she sat directly on the back seat of the bicycle, then let's go. Let's go. Mo Kishan's mood suddenly lightened as he pedaled away, the bicycle soon going quite far. Riding along with the morning wind and accompanied by the chirping of birds, they passed through the quiet countryside, the booming city center, and soon arrived at the Mo family's villa. Sister Ni Young, Uncle Mo Hudi came down from the stairs with small steps. Ni Young walked over. Xiaodai, how have you been feeling these past few days? Are you better? Mo Hudi nodded her head and smiled. Much better, thank you, Sister Ni Young. Mo Hudi was very clear in her heart, if it were not for Ni Young, she would not have been able to recover so quickly. You're welcome, Ni Young patted Mo Hudi's head. I'm a doctor, it's my duty to heal and save lives. Yang is here. Hearing the commotion outside, the old Mrs. Mo came out, her eyes full of excitement as she looked at Ni Young. Old Mrs. Mo. Ni Young greeted politely. Mrs. Mo instructed the servants to serve tea and water, and brought out a variety of imported snacks. Yang, have a snack and some tea before checking Xiaodai's pulse, no rush. Ni Young picked up the tea and took a sip, then took Mo Hudi's pulse. Mo Chishan quietly watched her. Ni Young focused slightly, her eyes serious, her long eyelashes casting a faint shadow on her eyelids. She was not like the fashionable women on the streets. Every piece of clothing she wore had a subtle hint of antiquity. For example, now, she was wearing a white knee-length cheongsam with a beige long coat over it. The collar of the coat was embroidered with a few proud red plum blossoms, echoing with the red buttons on the cheongsam. She conveyed both classical beauty and the youthful playfulness suitable for her age. Over the years, Mo Chishan had seen many girls, but none of them made his heart beat faster like Ni Young did. Mrs. Mo also was very satisfied with Ni Young. She was not someone who paid much attention to family backgrounds. Zhao Jingrong came from a prestigious family, but what happened in the end? Did she not still look down on people with her superior attitude? So, compared to family status, she valued a person's character more. After a while, Ni Yang released Imohuti's wrist, and then said, Xiao Dai's recovery is faster than I expected. If she continues this way, she should be almost cured after a month of taking the medicine. The metabolic rate of children is much higher than that of adults, after all. Mrs. Mo nodded her head, taking Ni Yang's hand, and exclaimed, Yang, we are so lucky to have met you. If not for you, Xiao Dai might still be bedridden. Before you, Dr. Ace examined Xiao Dai too. He even suggested a full blood transfusion for Xiao Dai, claiming that she wouldn't survive without it. Looking back, that Dr. Ace's words seem alarmist, lacking skill and demeaning traditional Chinese medicine. Ni Yang smiled. Actually, blood transfusion is an option, but it carries more risk. Western medicine, based on natural science, aims to cure problems directly, treating the symptoms. However, traditional Chinese medicine, based on philosophy, sees the human body as a whole system, advocating treatment from the inside out, slowly adjusting. Firstly, cure the root cause, and the symptoms will naturally improve. Chapter 183, Investigation into Li Xianxian Mother and Daughter, Noodle Restaurant Opening Carrot. Upon hearing this, Mo Baichuan, who was about to enter, halted. He could hardly believe that these words came from Ni Yang's mouth. He vividly remembered the night Imohuti's accident occurred. Dr. Ace had found him, denounced everything about traditional Chinese medicine, even boldly declaring that without his treatment, Imohuti only had death as an option. Yet, not only did Ni Yang not belittle Western medicine, but she also pointed out the differences between Chinese and Western medicine. Could an ordinary person possess such magnanimity? Or did Ni Yang know he would return and had prepared her lines ahead of time? This wasn't impossible for Ni Yang. After all, it was not the first time Ni Yang has done such a thing. In order to get close to him, she had truly went to great lengths. Thinking of this, Mo Baichuan felt a surge of disgust. Just as Mo Baichuan was about to step in, his assistant ran over from behind and whispered, Third Master, something has happened at the base. Another incident? Mo Baichuan slightly furrowed his brow, his eyes full of impatience. These past few days had been like a curse. Every time he left the base, something would immediately happen. He was nearly suffocating from being tangled up in these trivial matters. Let's go. Mo Baichuan turned around and strode towards the door. In the room, Madame Mo thanked Ni Yang again and then handed her a thick envelope. Yang, this is a small token of gratitude from the Mo family. Please accept it. In principle, money cannot measure the act of saving a life, but Madame Mo couldn't think of any other way to thank Ni Yang. Madam, I accept your kind intentions, but I can't take so much. Ni Yang opened the envelope, symbolically drew out a couple of large notes. Taking these is enough. It's difficult to see a doctor, to find medicine, even harder to consult a doctor. If I were to take this much money from you, it would break the rules and no one would dare come to me for treatment anymore. Doing good deeds would bring blessings. This was a lesson Ni Yang learned from being reborn. Therefore, Ni Yang not only treated the rich but also ordinary people. If word got out that she charged sky-high consultation fees, what were those struggling people supposed to do? In this life, she intended to use her medical skills to help even more people. Madame Mo looked at Ni Yang, her eyes full of admiration. Girls, as good as Ni Yang were hard to come by in today's world. She was very authentic, no deliberate flattery in her words, no smugness for curing Imohuti. Throughout, she retained a calm demeanor. It was as though she was like an orchid in an empty valley, quietly elegant. Good. Madame Mo held Ni Yang's hand, lavishing her with praise. After a while, Madame Mo remembered the business at hand, and continued, Yang, I have a younger relative. She tried to commit suicide some time ago by slashing her wrist and has not woken since. Do you think you can make some time today to see her? Ni Yang nodded. I can. Madame Mo excitedly said, we can go right now. Mom, Mo Chishan followed their pace. I'll accompany you too. The three of them arrived at the hospital together. When Ni Yang saw the patient lying in bed, she froze. If it's not Li Xianxian, then who is it? Even though Li Xianxian was considerably younger than in her previous life, Ni Yang recognized her at first glance. What was Li Xianxian's connection with the Mo family? Ni Yang vaguely remembered that in her previous life, there was a scar on Li Xianxian's wrist. So, it was from this time. But, why did she try to commit suicide? Although shocked, Ni Yang's face did not reveal anything. She reached out and rested her hand on Li Xianxian's wrist. After a while she lifted her head and said, "I'm sorry madam, but I'm unable to help this young lady." Madame Mo was taken aback. Alt? How could that be? Is Xianxian she, if even Ni Yang, with her excellent medical skills, was unable to cure Li Xianxian, did that mean there was really no hope for her? Ni Yang continued, "This miss suffered external wounds, while my expertise is complex and difficult illnesses. I'm truly sorry, madam." Actually, for Ni Yang, Li Xianxian's condition wasn't a difficult case. But without understanding what happened in her past life, Ni Yang couldn't save a person suspected of killing her. In her past life, the last person she saw before her death was Li Xianxian. The suspicion on Li Xianxian was just too great. In fact, in her previous life, Ni Yang and Li Xianxian weren't very close, having only met 2 or 3 times. But because the last person she saw before the accident was Li Xianxian, Ni Yang had an exceptionally deep impression of her. Chapter 184, Investigation into Li Xianxian Mother and Daughter, Noodle Restaurant Opening _5. Theoretically, she and Li Xianxian weren't very familiar. Li Xianxian had no motive to kill her. But why, after seeing Li Xianxian, did she die? Moreover, the more Ni Yan looked at Li Xianxian's face, the more she thought she resembled someone. Who did she resemble? Ni Yan squinted her eyes. Li Shu. Right. It was Li Shu. Especially that mole on the left cheek, it was exactly like Li Shu's. Could Li Xianxian be Li Shu's daughter? In her past life, Li Shu spent her lifetime with Mu Jinbao. Aside from knowing that Li Shu had a son later on, Ni Yan never knew that Li Shu also had a daughter. What on earth was going on? The more Ni Yan thought about it, the more uneasy she felt. She was still pondering it as she walked out of the ward. Yang, what's the matter? Mo Chishan asked when he saw her absent-mindedly walking out of the ward. Ni Yan gave a faint smile. Nothing, perhaps the ward is just too stuffy. As she finished speaking, Ni Yan continued, "Who was that girl that slit her wrists? What's her relationship with your family?" Mo Chishan replied, "Actually, there's not much of a relationship. Her name is Li Xianxian. She is a sophomore student at Beijing Normal University and she works part-time as a personal assistant to my eldest nephew at a base. Because she helped my mother before and she's an orphan, my mother has been quite close to her and has even considered her a potential granddaughter-in-law. So, it turns out that Li Xianxian had such deep ties with the Mo family." Ni Yan continued, "She's an orphan? If Li Xianxian was indeed an orphan, then wouldn't the hypothesis of her being Li Shu's daughter be invalid?" She knew too little about Li Xianxian from her past life, and for the moment, couldn't connect any dots. "Yes," Mo Chishan nodded. "Do you know her?" Ni Yan shook her head. "No, I just find her somewhat familiar." "Oh." Mo Chishan nodded. They reached the hospital lobby. Ni Yan continued, "Brother Mo, I have something to attend to. I must go now, please say goodbye to the old lady for me later." "I'll let the driver take you," Mo Chishan said. "No need," Ni Yan smiled, "I have something to do downtown." "All right," Mo Chishan nodded, "take care on your way." "Yes, I will." Ni Yan nodded, turned, and left. Soon, her figure disappeared outside the hospital. Mo Chishan leaned against the door frame. After a while, he pulled a cigarette out of his pocket, lit it slowly, propped it in his mouth, looking carefree yet dignified. After leaving, Ni Yen went directly to a private detective agency. Just like in the movies, the detective wore a black suit, a black hat atop his head, even holding a pipe, appearing very professional. "Hello, beautiful young lady, how may I assist you?" Although the detective had seen many beauties, he was slightly stunned when he saw Ni Yen. He had seen many beauties, but a beauty with such spirit was a first. Some people, despite being beautiful, lack soul. But the young girl in front of him was different. Her beauty emanated from within. A rare oriental beauty. "Help me investigate two people," Ni Yen slowly opened her mouth. "Which two?" The detective handed a pen and paper to Ni Yen. "Please write the details on the paper." Ni Yen took the pen and paper. In no time, the sound of rustling filled the air. About 10 minutes later, she handed the paper back to the detective. "These two people. Li Shu, Li Xianxian?" Ni Yen nodded. "Just investigate what's written on the paper." "How many days will it take for the results to be known?" "The things you want to investigate are relatively simple, so results should come in about a month," the detective replied. "The transportation of this era is not developed. Going anywhere required an introductory letter and certification. Moreover, not every city had an airport, so return trips tended to be time-consuming." Ni Yen continued, "Then they'll come back in a month." "All right," the detective nodded. "Please deposit the travel expenses, hardship allowance, board, and lodging and investigation deposit first, with the full amount being given for travel expenses and board and lodging." "How much?" asked Ni Yen. "The total cost of these fees is 300, the detective continued. "After the task is completed, you still need to pay another 500. Since there was no technical skill required for the investigation Ni Yen requested, as long as he ran around and asked a few people, the information should be available, so the price wasn't high. Things like rich housewives wanting to know if their men were having an affair outside, those cost more, basically starting from 2,000. Chapter 185, Investigation into Li Xianxian Mother and Daughter, Noodle Restaurant Opening _6. Although it was only a total of 800 yuan, it was kind of expensive for Ni Yang at the moment. After all, she just bought a shop, finished the refurbishment, and was a little tight on cash. But Ni Yang paid without any hesitation. After all, this matter was related to her own safety. She always felt that her past lives' experiences and the cause of her death had a lot to do with Li Xianxian and Li Shu. So, she had to figure it out to have peace of mind. Having lived one life wrongly, in this life, Ni Yang wanted to fully enjoy the great life. She couldn't leave any safety hazards. By the way, the last live's revenge should be reported together. "Thank you for your trouble." Ni Yang grinned slightly. The detective bowed. "No problem, my surname is Zhou, just call me Xiao Zhou." Ni Yang nodded. After leaving the detective agency, Ni Yang felt a lot more relaxed. This matter could be handed over to the detective for investigation, because Li Xianxian couldn't harm her at the moment. The most pressing thing was to make money. With money, came a sense of security. Because the noodle restaurant was opening tomorrow, Ni Yang made another trip to the restaurant. In the restaurant, Wang Jinfang and Zhou Qingshang had already started making fish bone soup in preparation for tomorrow's opening. Since Ni Yang pickled the sauerkraut herself and prepared the chili in advance, making sour fish wasn't a technical task, as long as the fish slices were thin enough. Both Wang Jinfang and Zhou Qingshang were clever people. Once Ni Yang explained, they knew what to do. "Aunt Zhou, Aunt Jinfang, thank you for your hard work." Ni Yang walked in with a smile. Zhou Qingshang laughed. "It's not hard. It's just some kitchen work." Wang Jinfang grinned. "Your Aunt Zhou is right, it's not hard at all." With the high wages Ni Yang offered, neither Zhou Qingshang nor Wang Jinfang felt tired. Instead, they felt more energetic the more they worked. There were 4 large pots in total. 3 of them were making fish bone soup, and the 4th was empty. Ni Yang started to make sour plum soup with this empty pot. The dark plum, hawthorn and other ingredients had been pre-soaked. It would take about half an hour. Being late autumn, the sour plum soup could be stored in a large glass jar without worrying about it going bad. Usually, Ni Yang could serve 600 to 700 customers in a morning when she was street vending. On the opening day, there should be more customers than usual, so she prepared enough for 2,000 servings. The pickled vegetable noodles also prepared 2,000 servings. At this time of the year, even if they couldn't sell all, they could keep the rest for the next day's sales without worrying about spoilage. Even before the opening, there were a few people outside asking if they were opening tomorrow. Ni Yang smiled, "Yes, it opens tomorrow." Seeing Ni Yang, everyone happily said, "Little boss, it's really you. We came yesterday and didn't see you. We were worried that this shop had changed owners." "Little boss, what time will you open tomorrow morning?" Ni Yang said, "We open at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning." "Will the sour plum soup be given away for free to those who come to eat noodles tomorrow?" Ni Yang nodded, "Yes, everyone who comes to eat noodles gets a cup of sour plum soup." Okay, well definitely come over early tomorrow." In Ni Yang's absence, Sun Xuanxiang made a lot of money. After all, once Ni Yang stopped selling, there was only her store that sold pickled vegetable noodles. People who wanted to eat pickled vegetable noodles had to go to her store. Sun Xuanxiang proudly changed the price of the sour fish noodles to 3 yuans and 5 cents per bowl, 5 cents more expensive than what Ni Yang used to sell. Even so, there were many people who came to eat every day. At this time, Sun Xuanxiang worked overtime to sell pickled vegetable noodles and made more than 5,000 yuan in just a month. With these 5,000 yuan, her son's tuition was all set. To make it up for the hard times her son had been through, Sun Xuanxiang increased his weekly food allowance to 100 yuan. She could make 5,000 in 1 month, 10,000 in 2 months, and 60,000 in a year. What's 400 to 500 yuan spent by her son a month compared to that? The more she thought about it, the happier Sun Xuanxiang got. She even couldn't help humming a little tune as she cooked the noodles. At this moment, her sister-in-law, Li Xiangji, walked over with a worried look on her face. "Sister. What's wrong?" Li Xiangji continued, "I heard that Ni Yang, that little girl, has bought a shop, and it will be open tomorrow." Chapter 186, Investigation into Li Xianxian Mother and Daughter, Noodle Restaurant Opening? What? Sun Xuanxiang turned pale with fright. Li Xiangji repeated what she just said. She had been helping out here for some time, and Sun Xuanxiang had given her quite a few benefits. If all the business was taken away by Ni Yang, wouldn't she lose out in the future? After getting a clear understanding of the situation, Sun Xuanxiang dropped the bowl she was holding. She bought a shop. That damn little bitch actually bought a shop. Where did she get the money to buy a shop? Ni Yang had been gone for so long, Sun Xuanxiang thought she was dead. Unexpectedly, she had secretly bought a shop. For a moment, Sun Xuanxiang was both furious and envious. She was just getting by and Ni Yang came to steal her business again. How could someone be so shameless? Then Sun Xuanxiang said, "Xiangji, go to Ni Yang's place now and find out if this news is reliable." Okay. Li Xiangji nodded and ran off. Sun Xuanxiang steadied her nerves and continued to serve her customers. Just then, 3 noodle-eating customers arrived at the stall. Before they could get seated, a middle-aged woman came from across the street. "Xiaoli, Xiaozhao, Xiaowang, stop eating here. The Boss Noodle Restaurant opens tomorrow, and you will even get a free sour plum soup." Really? The 3 of them were extremely excited. The middle-aged woman said, "Of course it's true. Everyone is heading over there now to get familiar with the place. Do you want to go have a look?" We do. Sun Xuanxiang, standing in front of the iron pot, turned black with anger and immediately chased after the 3 customers, saying, "Hey, don't go. The noodles are already cooked. How about I give you a 5-cent discount per bowl?" One of them turned back and said, no thanks, the flavor here is not as authentic as what the little boss has. 3 cents a bowl, and they still want it to be more authentic? Pa! Sun Xuanxiang spat fiercely on the ground. Disgusting poor bastards, I don't even want to do business with you. A large crowd had gathered in front of Ni Yang's shop. Li Xiangji was one of them, standing in the middle of the crowd, tiptoeing and craning her neck to see the renovation inside the shop. The door was made of glass. The interior was simply arranged, easy to see at a glance. Pictures of pickled fish noodles were stuck all around the walls. It looked hot with sesame, chili, green onion, and cilantro sprinkled on top, a very visual impact, making people salivate and couldn't wait to try a bowl. Color cameras had been introduced in 1936, but at this time, few people used them to photograph dishes for promotion. Ni Yang must be the first in the city to do this. To take these photos, Ni Yang spent quite a sum, a luxury few businesses could afford. No doubt, Ni Yang's idea was simply too brilliant. Many onlookers marveled in their hearts that this little boss was really good at doing business. Some of the other businessmen even planned to copy this business strategy after they got back. When Li Xiangji got back, she told Sun Xuanxiang about it. Upon hearing this, Sun Xuanxiang was so furious that she couldn't stand it. She could already foresee the miserable scene tomorrow. No, she must come up with a plan to retain her business. Is Ni Yang selling a bowl for 5 cents less tomorrow and also giving out a cup of sour plum soup? Sun Xuanxiang followed up asking. Yes. Li Xiangji nodded, but not everyone gets a 5-cent discount, only those with cards get it, but everyone does get a sour plum soup. Okay. Sun Xuanxiang nodded, then we'll sell it for 1 cent a bowl. Since fish was not expensive, the cost of a bowl of noodles was about 3 cents. Even if they were sold for 1 cent a bowl, there were still profits to be made, just less than before. Although she was at a disadvantage in terms of taste, she could drop the price. Let's see if Ni Yang has the guts to lower her prices too. She didn't believe that if she sold it for 1 cent a bowl, no one would come to eat. At around 5 o'clock the next morning, Ni Yang arrived at the restaurant. Although the opening time was set for 6 o'clock, people started lining up around 5:30. At around 5:40, a small truck parked in front of the store and 5 or 6 workers started arranging flower baskets at the entrance. Someone also brought a red carpet. Ni Yang wondered, "Sir, are you sure you've got the right place? I didn't order these things." The flower delivery man checked the delivery note. It's 518 Yurtist Road, all right. These things were ordered by a Mr. Mo to be delivered here. Mr. Mo? Ni Yang raised her eyebrows slightly. Could it be Mo Qishan? It seemed that there was no one else. While she was thinking about this, Mo Qishan strolled over with a porcelain cat. "Yang Yang, I wish you a successful opening. Here's a lucky cat for you." The lucky cat originated from our country, and had existed for more than 1,000 years. At this time, they were imported goods and quite expensive. "Thank you." Ni Yang took it. "I'm sorry to have made you spend." Mo Qishan smiled and said, "It didn't cost much, there's no need to worry about it." At exactly 6 o'clock in the morning, with the help of Mo Qishan, Ni Yang unveiled the red cloth covering the signboard. The characters on the sign were simple, just the words "Sour Fish Noodle Restaurant," which was easy to understand at a glance. "Yang Yang, it's time for the firecrackers." Wang Jinfang handed Ni Yang a pack of matches. Mo Qishan had originally thought that Ni Yang would ask for his help since most girls were afraid of such things. But Ni Yang didn't hint at needing any help. She walked directly to the firecrackers, slowly lit the match, and lit the firecrackers. As the firecrackers crackled loudly, Ni Yang calmly turned around. The moment Ni Yang emerged from the dense smoke, Mo Qishan couldn't help wondering, was she really not an immortal who had descended from the clouds? As the firecrackers sounded, the restaurant was instantly filled with customers. "Boss, we need 3 bowls of noodles over here." "We want 5 bowls over here." Chapter 187, Marketing Strategy, Buy a House to Save for Wife. _1 Ni Yang was busy receiving money, serving noodles, and taking orders. Meanwhile, Zhou Qingshang and Wang Jinfang were bustling in the kitchen. Even Mo Baichuan had joined in the delivery of the dishes. Due to the lack of seats in the store, many people ordered a bowl of noodles and squatted outside to eat. They enjoyed the spicy and tangy pickled fish noodles while sipping on the appetizing sour plum soup. The enjoyment was extreme. There was a lively atmosphere both inside and outside the store. Those who had never eaten pickled fish noodles couldn't help but order a portion. Business was booming, and the queue of people never ended. This scene made the bosses of nearby shops turn green with envy. Sun Chuanxiang arrived quite early in the morning. Unlike usual, there was no queue in front of her stall this morning. Seeing the deserted stall, Sun Chengxiang's face fell. She knew where all those customers had gone without having to think about it. Ni Yang, that damn bitch. Sun Chuanxiang had thought that lowering the price of pickled fish noodles to 1 cent a bowl in the morning should surely attract many people. However, reality had dealt her a heavy blow. Seeing Sun Chuanxiang like this, Li Xiangji was scared to even breathe. After all, her livelihood now depended on Sun Chengxiang's mood. After a while, Li Xiangji hesitantly suggested, "Sister, don't worry. Maybe it's too early, and everyone hasn't come out yet." This reason was far-fetched. Even Li Xiangji didn't believe it. Sun Chengxiang's eyes bulged. "You go now and see what's happening in that bitch Ni Yang's store." "Oh," Li Xiangji immediately took off her apron. "I'm going now." Li Xiangji was flabbergasted as soon as she reached the entrance of the noodle restaurant. What does it mean when a door is like a marketplace? This was what it meant. What a contrast between boom and bust. If Sun Chuanxiang saw the scene at Ni Yang's, she would probably jump off a building out of anger. Even seeing this made Li Xiangzi's eyes red with envy. Sun Chuanxiang used to make over 5,000 yuan a month just by running a stall. According to Ni Yang's business, doesn't she make 20 to 30,000 a month? My goodness. That's terrifying. 20 to 30,000. That's more than what most people make in several years. Although Ni Yang's noodles were really delicious, smelling the fragrance from the shop, Li Xiangji couldn't help but swallow her saliva. After going back, Li Xiangji told Sun Chuanxiang about the situation. Hearing this, Sun Chuanxiang was consumed by jealousy. As long as Ni Yang existed, she couldn't continue her business. That little bitch was driving her into a corner. "Sister, don't worry, the reason why Ni Yang's place is busy is because of the good taste. If we can improve our flavor, we won't worry about having no customers." Li Xiangzi's words hit the nail on the head. Every person is a hidden foodie, so they don't care if the pickled vegetable noodles are 3 cents a bowl or 1 cent a bowl. They just want a good taste. After all, there aren't many good things to eat these days. Pickled fish is a novelty. Sun Chuanxiang understood this, but no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't replicate Ni Yang's flavor. No matter how she treated the fish, there was always a fishy smell, and the pickled vegetables from the market didn't have enough flavor. Li Xiangji continued, "Sister, we can think about getting the recipe for the pickled fish from Ni Yang. Her pickled fish is so delicious, there must be a recipe." Upon hearing this, a spark flashed in Sun Chengxiang's eyes. Right. Why hadn't she thought about it before? She could find a way to get the recipe. Li Gongxing had been thinking about Ni Yang's opening day, and so he had come early. Seeing the busy figure in the shop, Li Gongxing almost thought he was hallucinating. Was that Mo Qishan? As Song Beiqing's personal assistant, Li Gongxing was familiar with everyone around Song Beiqing. He even knew about Mo Qishan's cancelled engagement. Although Mo Qishan was a bit of a waste, he was born into a distinguished family, being the biological son of Lady Mo. He couldn't possibly be reduced to working for Ni Yang, right? Moreover, Mo Qishan was spoiled by Lady Mo, who wouldn't even scold him. How could he be working in such a servile way? In this era, being a self-employed worker was considered lowly. No matter how much money you made, you didn't have a good reputation. let alone working for a self-employed worker. Chapter 188, Marketing Strategy, Buy a House to Save for Wife. _2. What's going on? If it wasn't for his own eyes witnessing it, Li Gongqing definitely wouldn't believe it was true. Mr. Mo. Li Gongqing walked over to Mo Qishan and greeted him respectfully. Mo Qishan gave him a puzzled look. Since Mo Qishan was often idle and unstable like a shoddy job, it was normal that he didn't recognize Li Gongqing. Li Gongqing quickly explained, Mr. Mo, my name is Li Gongqing. I am the assistant to your nephew Song Beiqing. I came to pick up breakfast for the old lady. It was then that Mo Qishan remembered that Ni Yang was responsible for preparing breakfast for old lady Mo every morning. You wait a moment, I'll go call Yang Yang for you. Yang Yang? Is Mo Qishan really that close with Ni Yang? What's their relationship? Could it be a romantic one? A talented young lady like Ni Yang wouldn't be attracted to an aimless person like Mo Qishan, right? Li Gongqing suppressed his surprise, nodded and said, Okay, thank you, Mr. Mo. Mo Qishan then turned and headed to the kitchen. A few moments later, Ni Yang came out with an insulated box and 2 bowls of noodles. Thank you, Xiaoni. Li Gongqing took the insulated box and noodles with one hand and handed the money to Ni Yang with the other. Xiaoni, I wish you a thriving business and a fortune every day. Ni Yang smiled and said, Thank you. The noodle restaurant was very busy. After getting his takeout, Li Gongqing didn't stay long and quickly left. It wasn't until around 1 p.m. that the number of noodle eaters began to decrease. Ni Yang roughly calculated, from 6 o'clock in the morning until now, over 7 hours, nearly 1,500 servings of noodles have been sold. Excluding the 500 discounted bowls, the rest were sold at the regular price, meaning these 7 hours of business brought in more than 450 yuan. This does not include the price of the sour plum soup because it was complimentary today. The soup will definitely bring in more when it's priced separately tomorrow. As Ni Yang did the math, she hung a sign saying, taking a break, on the glass door outside and planned to rest for an hour and a half and be back in business at 2:30 p.m. As important as money is, it can't compare to good health. Brother Mo, you've worked hard today. Ni Yang took the bowl of noodles from Mo Qishan's hand and placed it in front of the last table of guests. Mo Qishan smiled and said, It's no big deal, I was just wasting time anyway. Ni Yang continued, It's getting late now, brother Mo, let me take you out for a meal. Mo Qishan had helped her all morning without ever taking a breather, and Ni Yang wanted to treat him to a good meal. And Zhou Qingshang and Wang Jinfang in the kitchen were equally busy. If you really want to treat me to a meal, Mo Qishan replied, just cook me a bowl of noodles. After a hard morning's work, how could Ni Yang just treat him to a bowl of noodles? But Mo Qishan, as though seeing through Ni Yang's thoughts, sat down opposite her and sternly said, I really just want a bowl of noodles. Ni Yang gave a small smile, all right, just wait a bit then. As she finished speaking, Ni Yang turned and headed to the kitchen. In the kitchen, Zhou Qingshang and Wang Jinfang were constantly busy. Even though there weren't many customers now, they were still preparing for the afternoon's business. Despite the morning rush, neither of them felt tired. When they were in the countryside, they used to work in the fields. No matter how hot the sun was, they could not rest for a moment. Compared to the dirty and tiresome farm work, this was nothing. Aunt Zhou, Aunt Jinfang, you've worked hard. Ni Yang rolled up her sleeves, don't worry about it for now, go rest in the front room for a while, I'll cook the noodles for you. Zhou Qingshang smiled and said, it's not laborious at all. Wiping her apron, Wang Jinfang said, Yang Yang, we brought our own meals, you don't need to fuss. She had given them such a high salary, how could they still eat Ni Yang's noodles? A person must know their boundaries. Remember, at this time, people only earn about 30 yuan a month working in a factory, but Ni Yang gives them 60 yuan a month. Ni Yang said, Ants, you don't need to bring meals for noon from now on, I have plenty of noodles here. Unless you don't like the taste of the noodles here. On hearing this, Zhou Qingshang and Wang Jinfang quickly explained, no, it's not that we don't like the taste of the noodles, it's just that, and Yang interrupted their words with a smile, since you don't dislike the taste of the noodles, don't bring food during lunch hours anymore, or else you'll be upset. You're tuning into the Dreamy Love Stories YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.